Chapter 1641 Breakthrough, Half-Step Eternal Realm. Soon, Yi Tian's body and cloned body also stepped into the second order of the world of will, and they all condensed 1000 worlds of will, and they all completed the transformation. After the transformation of his will, Yi Tian found that the Rift Wind Valley could not impact his will at all. In other words, Rift Valley can't help him. He can continue to cultivate the world of will, but he cannot use the Rift Valley. Forget it, I got such a big benefit this time, it's time to be satisfied. Yi Tian muttered. During such a long time, Yi Tian claimed that his clone had been in the Wuan territory, so the other 12 ancestors did not look for him, and he did not even attend any meetings. But occasionally some important notices were sent to him. And the 12 ancestors also had an action, but Yi Tian did not go to participate. For Junhe Jianzhu and others at the extreme level, they have been stuck in the half-step eternal realm for countless years, and they want to break through to become the eternal realm in their dreams. Therefore, at any chance, they will participate in it and will not give up. What if they are lucky enough to break through? This day, Yi Tian disintegrated his own duplicate body and avatar, and left the Wuan territory in this way. As for the few treasures obtained from the Wuan pagoda, after Junhe Jianzhu and others left, they also sent clones out of the entrance, allowing the main body to take away the treasures such as the Void God Leaf. Therefore, these treasures were not lost. Void Origin Hall. The cloned body and the clone are condensed again, and the clone cultivates the world of will, while the cloned body comprehends the innate eternal rules, and the main body is mainly to improve the cultivation. What Yi Tian wants to do most at the moment is to raise his cultivation to the pinnacle of the 9th layer supreme. In this way, his strength will grow by leaps and bounds, even stronger than that of the true River Sword ancestor, and he may have the hope of rivaling the second realm. Half-step eternity exists. However, cultivating from the Supreme Being of the 9 levels to the Supreme Being of the Supreme Being of the 9 levels also requires countless resources and time. The deeper the foundation, the longer it will naturally take. 10 robbery yuan, 100 robbery dollars, 1,000 robbery dollars. Before you know it, hundreds of thousands of robbery years have passed. After such a long time, Yi Tian finally raised his cultivation base to the pinnacle of the 9th layer supreme after spending a lot of resources. At this time, he was only one step away from the half-step eternal realm. If you want to break through from the 9th level supreme person to the half-step eternal realm, you need the eternal rules to fit the body, and you don't need to integrate perfectly. If you can really integrate, it is the eternal realm. But even if it is to fit the body, it is very difficult, and there is no way to break the shackles with insufficient physical potential and insufficient foundation. Only with enough potential and foundation, can you break the shackles and be promoted to the half-step eternal realm with the help of the moment that fits the eternal rules. It is not difficult for Yi Tian to be promoted to the half-step eternal realm, but he is currently in trouble, that is, he has comprehended the innate eternal rules. That is to say, others only need to conform to the eternal rules, and he needs to conform to the innate eternal rules before he can break the shackles and be promoted to the half-step eternal realm with the help of the power of fit. Therefore, the difficulty has increased more than tenfold. But once a breakthrough is made, the increase in strength will inevitably be the largest. If the main body makes a breakthrough directly, the success rate is not very large. Let the cloned body make breakthroughs again and again. Even if you fail, you can gain some experience, and you can't be in a hurry to break through the half-step eternal realm. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the following years, Yi Tian occasionally let the clone body make breakthroughs, but it failed every time at the beginning. After all, it is difficult for the shackles of the 9th layer supreme to reach the half-step eternal realm. Many half-step eternal realm broke through with the help of foreign objects, which damaged some foundations more or less. Yi Tian doesn't want to resort to external objects, otherwise he still has the void real liquid in his hand. If he takes the void real liquid, he can break through to the half-step eternal realm 100%. But in that case, it will have a great impact on the impact of the eternal realm in the future. Therefore, he did not want to use the void real liquid to make a breakthrough. After many attempts, Yi Tian gradually mastered a lot of breakthrough experience, and finally successfully broke through to the half-step eternal realm on this day. Of course, this is just a breakthrough in the copy body, not a breakthrough in the body. Subsequently, Yi Tian disintegrated the copy body and started to break through again. Gradually, Yi Tian could almost guarantee 100% breakthrough. Breakthrough. Yi Tian's body began to choose to attack the half-step eternal realm. I saw that his incomparably powerful body and the innate eternal rules reached a certain fit in a short period of time. The innate eternal rules seemed to be fused with the body on another level, but it was not a real fusion. And the shackles in the dark began to become very easy to impact in this fit state. So, Yi Tian attacked the shackles with all his strength. Click, the shackles were smashed, the bottleneck was broken, and Yi Tian officially stepped into the half-step eternal realm level. At this time, his body began to transform, and even the power on his body began to transform into half-step eternal power. Not only that, Yi Tian's will has also improved a lot. After a long time, Yi Tian's breakthrough was officially completed. Far more powerful than the past, Yi Tian said excitedly. At this moment, he has been regarded as the extreme state. Because the half-step eternal realm has created a lot of eternal skills, and also realized the eternal rule of heaven, which is no different from the extreme realm. The only thing that is weak is that his half-step eternal power is still relatively weak. But half-step eternal realm does not pay attention to cultivation, so he is considered a half-step eternal realm at the extreme realm level. Yi Tian closed his eyes, felt the state of his body, and immediately realized what level his current strength was probably at. Tripolar realm. Before the breakthrough, he was located between the first and second extremes, or the weakest second, but now he can be regarded as the top third, and he is only one step away from the fourth. As long as he stabilizes his realm and improves his half-step eternal power, he can officially enter the quadruple realm and half-step eternal realm. The cultivation of the extreme state is to strengthen the innate eternal rules, and use the innate eternal rules to fit the body to stimulate the body to strengthen step by step, thereby reaching a higher extreme state. With Yi Tian's current potential and level, he will hardly have any bottlenecks before he becomes the seventh realm. And other half-step eternal realm, such as Junhe Jianzu, it is difficult to continue to improve at the first extreme realm level, because he can improve the basic level, and the rest is difficult to improve. After breaking through to the half-step eternal realm, Yi Tian quickly discovered a problem. His cultivation consumed too much. Although he had obtained a huge amount of resources in Yuanshui, he could not stand such consumption. In addition to the cohesion and replication of the body, resources must also be consumed, and the amount of resources consumed by countless replication cohesion is also an astronomical figure. According to his estimation, I am afraid that when he becomes a half-step eternal realm in the five-pole realm, he will have no resources. Chapter 1642 The Chance of 100,000 Eternal Years. More resources will be collected in the future. 1 inch. Yi Tian thought to himself. With his current strength, it is not too slow to collect resources. After all, he will soon be able to reach the level of half-step eternal realm in the four-pole realm, and in the source sea, the half-step eternal realm powerhouse above the four-pole realm is incomparable. Rare, no more than 15 people. Coupled with his life-saving ability, it can be said that in the source sea, almost no one is afraid of anyone, and no one can kill him, unless there is an eternal realm coming from the space-time territory. In the following years, Yi Tian worked hard to improve his cultivation, to enhance his understanding of the innate eternal rules, and at the same time, he was also cultivating the world of will. In the hundreds of thousands of calamities that came out of the Wuhan territory, Yi Tian has made little progress in the world of will. After all, there is no such treasure as the Rift Valley to assist, and after the world of will has stepped into the second order, he wants to improve will is difficult. It is very difficult to improve the will, and it is very slow to open up the world of will. If the will is not improved in the later stage, it is impossible to continue to open up the world of will. Today, although Yi Tian's will worlds have far exceeded 1,000, and have reached 5,289 will 810 worlds, he wants to break through 10,000 will worlds, but it is far away, and only when he reaches 10,000 will worlds can he be promoted to the third order will world ushered in another will transformation. But no matter what, Yi Tian's will is still slowly improving now. This is the improvement brought by the will world secret technique. Before reaching the bottleneck, his will not stagnate, but it will only get slower and slower. Another long period of time has passed, Yi Tian's cultivation has improved a lot, and he has passed the half-step eternal realm's rapid improvement period. At this time, his combat power has improved a lot, and he has reached the level of the four-pole realm and the half-step eternal realm. It can be said that he is now the top combat power of the entire Yuanai, surpassing the other 12 ancestors of the Yuanshan Pavilion. If he shows his strength, he is enough to become the first ancestor among the 13 ancestors. However, it doesn't make much sense. Source C, True Palace. Zhenji Palace is one of the top forces in Yuanai, and it is even stronger than a loose force like Yuanshan Pavilion CJFI, but it is very low-key and does not accept ordinary disciples, so there are not many people, but everyone is the elite among the elites, and the evildoer among the evildoers. There are 9 in the extreme realm alone, more than the source godhead, and the most important thing is quality. There are 4 pole and half-step eternal level powerhouses in the Genji Palace, while the Yuanshan Pavilion did not have the 4-pole state before Yitian, not even the second pole state. Therefore, the Genji Palace is much stronger than the Yuanshan Pavilion. Moreover, the Genji Palace is extremely united, and it is a real force, not an idle force. At this time, the palace master of the True Pole Palace, the Kingming Patriarch at the 4-pole realm and half-step eternal realm was entertaining 3 guests. Qiwan Yuanzu, Fengling Yuanzu, Wulong Yuanzu, the 3 of you came to my Genji Palace. Could it be that the Lord of the North Sea has some orders? Kingming Saint Ancestor asked. The Lord of the North Sea in his mouth is the eternal realm to which he is loyal, and the Lord of the North Sea is actually a former palace master of the Genji Palace. After breaking through to the eternal realm, he left the Source Sea, occupied a space-time lord, and opened up the North Sea territory, became the Lord of the North Sea. But Genji Palace has been serving the Lord of the North Sea, collecting intelligence and sending talents. However, there are not many geniuses born in the Genji Palace, which is far worse than the North Sea territory, so the North Sea Lord doesn't care much about the Genji Palace and rarely sends people. But this time, 3 quadruple realms were dispatched, which shows that the task is not easy. Qiwan Yuanzu said solemnly, Kingming Shengsu, the Lord of the North Sea sent us here because of the chance of 100,000 eternal years. The chance of 100,000 eternal years. Qingming Sheng Ancestor was stunned for a moment, but immediately realized what Qi Yuan Ancestor said. The eternal year is a unit used by the eternal realm to calculate the time. An eternal year is equivalent to 1 million robbery yuan, and 100,000 eternal years is such a long period of time. Even his Kingming Sacred Ancestor has not passed the age of 100,000 eternal years, so he is only 70,000 or 80,000 eternal years old, and this is already an incomparably old age. The era when he was born can be called the beginning of the Yuanai. There are many resources in the Yuanai, and various rare resources were born one after another. But for the eternal realm, 70,000 to 80,000 eternal years are just the beginning of a Source Sea reincarnation. When the next cycle begins, the resources of the Source Sea will explode again, just like the scene at the beginning of the Source Sea. And no one knows how many eternal years Yuanai really exists. Although the Kingming Sacred Ancestor was not born in the 100,000 eternal years ago, he has also heard a secret, that is, every 100,000 eternal years, the Yuanai will give birth to amazing opportunities and even cause the eternal slaughter. The last time 100,000 years ago, many eternal realms fought, and the entire Source Sea was smashed into ruins. The era of the beginning of Yuanai also means the new life of Yuanai. In fact, before the 100,000 eternal years, the eternal realms often appeared in the Source Sea, but since that war, the Lord Alliance issued an order not to allow the eternal realm to reside in the Source Sea, and even if there is something to go to the Source Sea, and must not stay for too long, that is, to prevent similar things from happening. After all, the time and space lords are attached to Yuanai, and they don't want any problems with Yuanai. Once there is a problem in the Source Sea, the countless time and space lords will cease to exist. 3. The Lord of the North Sea asked you to find that great opportunity? Asked the Kingming Saint Ancestor. Yes, Qi Yuanzu nodded. The Lord of the North Sea has asked us to investigate, and the Genji Palace must also go all out. Once the location of the opportunity and the time of its birth are investigated, we will immediately notify the Lord of the North Sea, and the Lord of the North Sea will come in person at that time. Source Sea. I know, I will fully cooperate with the 3. Kingming Saint Ancestor replied. Similar things are being staged one by one, and many eternal realms have dispatched half-step eternal realm powerhouses at the extreme realm level to come to the Source Sea. Such news could not be concealed at all, and Yuanshan Pavilion also knew this news. However, the true River Sword Ancestor sent a message to the 13 ancestors and started a meeting. After Yitian got the news, he dispatched the cloned body to the Yuanshan Pavilion as soon as possible. Chapter 1643 The Five-Pole Realm, the Sea of Silence. Inside the Yuanshan Pavilion, Yitian and the other 12 ancestors came and sat down one by one. Yitian also had a general understanding of the situation, but not much. Junhe Sword Ancestor and the other 12 ancestors saw Yitian and felt Yitian's cultivation, and they were immediately shocked. Congratulations to the Endless Ancestors' promotion to the Extreme Realm. Congratulations to the Endless Ancestors' promotion to the Extreme Realm. 1. Congratulations to the Endless Ancestors' promotion to the Extreme Realm. The 12 ancestors congratulated each other. They even felt that Yi Tian's strength was even more terrifying than them, but it was hard to say how many extremes it had reached, but it must be above one extreme. For a while, everyone's attitude towards Yi Tian changed slightly, maybe even they didn't realize it, that is, there was a trace of respect. Soon, everyone will get back to business. Junhee Jianzhu said. Everyone, this meeting is mainly to discuss a major event that happened recently. I think you all know that many time and space lords have sent a lot of extreme realms to Yuanai, just to find an opportunity. Feng Jiyu Yuanzhu followed up. I don't know much about this matter, I only know that it has something to do with the chance of the 100,000 eternal year, but I have not been born for less than 60,000 eternal year, and I don't know much about such a long time. I don't know any more. Yi Tian shook his head. One eternal year is equivalent to 1,000,000 eons, how many eternal years did he live? Therefore, it is so secret that he is not clear at all. Seeing this, Jianzhu Junhee said, actually, I should be the only one who has truly experienced the half-step eternal realm in Yuanshan Pavilion. In the era before the beginning of the sea, many eternal realms fought to seize a chance. The fallen eternal realm alone reached double digits. Countless eternal worlds were blown up, and endless small worlds were smashed into nothingness. And I don't know how many supreme beings were killed by the waves, I am a half-step eternal realm who survived by luck. 1. It is said that every 100,000 eternity years, a chance will be born in the source sea, and the last chance was too precious, so many eternity realms were moved, and such a terrifying war broke out. The channel learned that the last chance was a supreme treasure that could make the power of the eternal realm skyrocket, and even hope to surpass other eternal realms, but I don't know exactly what it is, and even in whose hands it fell. I am not sure as well. However, after the last Eternal Realm War, the Alliance of Lords stipulated that Eternal Realms should not stay in the Source Sea for a long time, and this time there should not be a war like the last time. However, once the opportunity is discovered, the Eternal Realm participating in the war is absolutely not a few. Junhee Jianzhu said for a long time, so that Yi Tian and the others basically understood the situation. At this time, they are also very interested in such an opportunity. If they get such a chance, can they become eternal? Of course, it is more likely to be pinched to death by an eternal realm while fighting for the chance. Unless it was lucky, when the opportunity was born, there was no movement, and they happened to be discovered. But according to what I have learned, when the chance was just born, there was a vision. Although the scope of the vision is not large, it is very likely to be discovered. Especially now that the major forces have dispatched countless people, once the opportunity arises, they will definitely be discovered. At the meeting, there are half-step eternal realms that propose not to participate in this matter, and half-step eternal realms propose to gamble. What if you are lucky? Obviously, many half-step eternal realm are still desperate for such an opportunity, perhaps this is their only hope of hitting the eternal realm. At last, Junhee Jianzhu said, I don't recommend you to participate in it, and in today's era, it is easy to conflict with those extreme realms that come to the space-time territory. If you are not prepared to participate, you should retreat well during this time. Let's share the unexpected situation. If the opportunity arises and the war in the eternal realm is too tragic, I will provide a place for everyone to take refuge. Soon, the meeting was over. A famous half-step eternal realm left, and Yi Tian also left. What is the chance of 100,000 eternal years? Yi Tian was a little curious. If he doesn't endanger his own life and affect the dark forbidden area, he doesn't mind participating in it. If he really gets a little benefit, I'm afraid it will be enough for him to grow to the eternal realm. Perhaps, this is also the idea of many half-step eternal realms. As time passed, more and more extreme realms came to the Source Sea from the major time and space lords, and some conflicts naturally occurred with the major forces. There are often rumors that some supreme beings are killed, and most of them involve the extreme half-step eternal realm powerhouses from the space-time territory. For flowers, and Yi Tian is very low-key, has been cultivating, and the dark forbidden area is very calm. Before you know it, hundreds of thousands of calamities have passed. The chance of being born once in 100,000 eternal years has not yet appeared, even those eternal realms are anxious, and even the eternal realms personally came to Yuanai to explore some areas but quickly left. Void Origin Hall. Yi Tian ended the practice. At this time, he had already cultivated to the level of the 5 extremes. After all, he had no bottleneck before the level of the 7 extremes. He only needed to improve his cultivation, and his strength would be improved. However, after cultivating to the 5 extremes realm, he used almost all the resources on his body. Although there were still a few treasures left, Even if he traded the resources, he would not be able to exchange many precious resources. 0. This day, the artifact spirit of the Void Origin Hall came to inform Yi Tian of a big event. Master, some changes have taken place outside the Void Origin Hall. 1. Reports from the craftsman. Changes occurred outside the Void Origin Hall. Yi Tian looked shocked. Void Origin Palace equals a forbidden place in the original sea. This forbidden place is the sea. Even a half-step eternal realm like Void Originator dare not step into the sea of Aaaa silence, throwing the Void Origin Palace into the sea of Aaaa silence, and the enemies of the Void Origin Ancestor dare not enter the sea of Aaaa silence to find the Void Origin Palace. From this we can see the horror of the Silent Sea. Even the half-step eternal realm at the level of the extreme realm does not dare to venture into the sea of Aa silence, because the sea of Aa silence will have a strange power, and those who are not determined will be completely silent, turning into the sea of Aa silence. A floating corpse. Although the Void Origin Hall can resist the power of the Silent Sea, once it goes out, it still cannot. There have been experiments in the extreme realm. Basically, the strength above the three-pole realm is required to walk in the Silent Sea, but there is also a certain danger. Only the half-step eternal realm above the sixth polar realm can ignore the danger of the Silent Sea. Wow! Yi Tian's cloned body directly walked out of the Void Origin Hall and came to the sea of Aa silence. A force after another attacked, and Yi Tian, Aa whose will reach the second rank of the will world, was almost comparable to the eternal realm in terms of will, so he ignored these strange forces. Yi Tian probed the surroundings and found an astonishing scene. Chapter 1644 The chance of 100,000 eternal years has been found. In the Silent Sea, corpses floated on it. There are the corpses of the Supreme, there are also the corpses of the half-step eternal realm, and there are even some corpses of the invincible. Strange, where did so many corpses come from? Yi Tian wondered. It's not that he has never been to the Sea of Aa Silence, he has been there before, but there is nothing in the Sea of Aa Silence. In the past, there were indeed many supreme beings or even half-step eternals who fell into the Sea of Aa Silence, but after these powerhouses fell, they soon disappeared. This is also a secret of the Silent Sea, and no one knows the reason. But now, the bodies of these strong men have emerged. Immediately, Yi Tian felt the strangeness of the Sea of Aa Silence, and it seemed that some special change had taken place here. He didn't think about it too much, but immediately put away the void balls of these powerhouses. 810. The accumulation of the resources of these powerhouses is not a small number. Although there may not be many resources useful to him, it is not bad to leave so many resources to the human race. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to collect all the void balls of these powerhouses. As for the bodies of these powerhouses, he sent them out to be buried in a treasure land. The Sea of Aa Silence is afraid that something has gone wrong, and the Void Origin Palace can't stay here. Yi Tian thought to himself. And for him, the Sea of Aa Silence is not a forbidden place at all, and the same is true for those powerful extreme realms. Therefore, there is no need for the Void Origin Hall to stay in the Sea of Aa Silence, and it can directly be brought back to the Dark Forbidden Area. Wow! The huge Void Origin Hall entered Yi Tian's body. Yi Tian flew out of the Silent Sea, and quickly returned to the Dark Forbidden Area. After placing the Void Origin Hall in the forbidden area of Aa Darkness, Yi Tian's cloned body came to the Sea of Aa Silence again, always paying attention to the changes in the Sea of Aa Silence. With the passage of time, the void of the Silent Sea is a little turbulent, and the turbulence comes from the deeper void. But after those powerhouses fell in the Sea of Aa Silence, they were swallowed by the unknown void, and now the void is turbulent and these corpses reappeared. However, before the changes in the Sea of Aa Silence have not completely ended, Yi Tian is also very difficult to do. He tried to enter the unknown void along the turbulent void, but an unknown force blocked him and made him unable to enter there at all. He has already reached the level of a five-pole realm and a half-step eternal realm powerhouse, and this power can easily stop him. It is conceivable that if there is a chance here, I am afraid it is very extraordinary. The chance that the lords of the eternal realm want to find once in 100,000 eternal years is not here, right? Yi Tian guessed. If this is the case, then the Sea of Aa Silence will probably become a battlefield. Fortunately, the Dark Forbidden Area is far away from the Silent Sea. If the distance is close, a little battle fluctuation in the eternal realm may cause the collapse of an eternal world. In the blink of an eye, another calamity year passed. The void turbulence of the Sea of Aa Silence is getting farther and farther away, and even the Sea of Aa Silence is transmitted, but since there are no living beings nearby, the news has not yet spread. But Yi Tian is very clear that this place will be discovered eventually. This day, the changes of the Sea of Aa's silence reached a certain limit, and countless golden rays of light shrouded the entire Sea of Aa's silence, and even shrouded the territory around the Sea of Aa's silence. Yi Tian saw a golden tree from the golden light. This golden tree didn't seem to be very big, but its light even crushed time and space, suppressing everything, as if it was the source of everything, and it seemed to be the essence of everything. Around the golden tree, there is an endless land, but because the distance is too far, and the surrounding scenery is not as powerful as the golden tree, it cannot be projected, and Yi Tian can't see clearly. This is definitely a chance to be born once in 100,000 eternity years. Yi Tian didn't say a word, and rushed directly to the depths of the unknown void. Perhaps the eternal realm will come soon, but if he doesn't give it a shot at such an opportunity, it will be enough to regret it for the rest of his life. This time, the unknown power did not hinder Yi Tian. Yi Tian went deep into that unknown void along the golden avenue, and soon arrived at that position of void. At this moment, a strange force struck, several times stronger than the strange force of the Sea of Aa's silence. Yi Tian ignored this power, stepped out of the golden avenue, stepped on the ground. Vaguely, he saw a golden tree in a distant place, but it was far away. Moreover, the strange power here has been affecting him. In addition, the suppression here is very terrifying, so Yi Tian is afraid that it will take a little time to reach the golden tree. Wow, Yi Tian moved quickly and wanted to arrive at the golden tree earlier. But soon, his expression changed. How so? Every time he moved a little distance, the shock of the strange power became stronger. I'm afraid I won't be able to reach the golden tree. Yi Tian thought to himself. But after a certain distance, Yi Tian is no longer worried. Because he found a treasure. This is void-scale golden leaf grass. Yi Tian said in shock. The void-scale golden leaf grass is an incomparably precious resource in the Source Sea, even for the half-step eternal realm. He can improve the strength of the body, improve the cultivation, and also improve the eternal body. If someone's eternal body doesn't reach the perfect level, a small piece of bean-scale golden leaf grass is enough to make the other party's eternal body reach the realm. It can be said that the value of nothing on Yi Tian can compare to the void-scale golden leaf grass, not even the void true liquid. Even an extreme half-step eternal realm powerhouse would be extremely excited when they saw this void-scale golden leaf grass. Ha ha ha, it seems that there are other resources besides the 5.8 golden tree here. Even if you can't reach the location of the golden tree, you can get these resources. Wow, the clone condensed and immediately returned to the outside world with this void-scale golden leaf grass. He didn't want to fall here, so the resources were not sent away. The speed of the clone was very fast, and it quickly left here. After leaving the Sea of Aa's silence, it quickly shuttled back to the dark forbidden area, and then sent the void-scale golden leaf grass to the main body. Then, the clone continued to the Silent Sea. Not long after, Yi Tian found some resources, perhaps not as good as the void-scale golden leaf grass, but not too bad, and the clone acted as a porter. Soon after, the changes in the Silent Sea still attracted the attention of other half-step eternal realms. Chapter 1645 The Lords of the Eternal Realm are coming. A half-step eternal realm came here and discovered the changes in the Silent Sea. This is, A.A. Qianyu Yuanzu, a half-step eternal realm expert, looked at the golden tree in shock, and immediately felt that this must be a shocking opportunity, and it may even be a chance that was born only once in 100,000 eternity years. I'm likely to be number one. Qianyu Yuanzu was extremely excited, and immediately flew to the depths of the void where the golden tree was. However, a strange force struck. Not good. Only then did he remember the horror of the Sea of Aa's silence, and the place where the golden tree was located was not the Sea of Aa's silence, but it was most likely the true source of the Sea of Aa's silence. He was blinded by chance, so he didn't think about this problem. Boom! Under the impact of the strange force, Qianyu Yuanzu's will was destroyed, his consciousness gradually lost, and his body turned into a corpse and floated on the golden avenue. Soon after, the vision here was completely discovered and spread throughout the entire Source Sea. The Qingming ancestor of Zhenji Palace and Qiwan Yuanzu from the space-time domain and other extreme powerhouses also came here 29. At the same time, a large number of extreme realms have come here. Of course, most of the extreme realms here come from time and space territories, but there are relatively few extreme realms belonging to the Yuanai mainland. I found it. This is a real chance that will only be born once in 100,000 eternal years. The extremists are extremely sure. Immediately, they notified the lords of the space-time territory. Whoa whoa, a famous realm wants to rush in, otherwise when the Lord of the Eternal Realm comes, where will it be their turn? When a famous extreme realm rushed into the Golden Avenue, it quickly turned into a corpse, only one of the 5 realm powerhouses did not fall. However, under the impact of this strange force, he trembled all over, obviously also suffering severe pain. Seeing this scene, those who are weak and weak do not dare to enter. After falling into so many extreme realms at once, how long has it been since Yuan-I has not happened? Get down, we are not allowed to enter until our Xuanyu Lord arrives. A 7th realm half-step eternal realm shot, one hand went deep into the Golden Avenue, grabbed the 5-pole realm half-step eternal realm powerhouse directly, and threw it directly to a distant place. Boom! A 6-7 level half-step eternal realm powerhouse was blocked here, and no powerhouse was allowed to enter. Soon, the lords of the eternal realm came. Lord of Beihai, Lord of Xuanyu, Lord of Lianyi, Lord of Ling. A lord came down, and the breath of each lord made those half-step eternal realms tremble, and they didn't dare to look at them at all. When Lord Lianyi saw the golden tree, his eyes widened. If this lord didn't guess wrong, he should know the golden sea tree forever. The chance of this birth turned out to be it. Ha ha ha, it is indeed the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. The golden sea tree of eternal knowledge can give birth to the golden fruit of eternal knowledge. It can improve our will and even help to break the bottleneck. The golden sea tree of eternal knowledge also has a huge role, that is, you can upgrade the time and space lord, and upgrade the ordinary time and space lord to the eternal time and space territory. An eternal time and space lord, the resources born are unimaginable. If I snatch the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, I will definitely be able to become the top existence in the eternal realm. Joke, you can also snatch the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, it must belong to me. The golden sea tree of eternal knowledge belongs to me. One of the lords quarreled. They didn't waste time arguing, and immediately rushed into the Golden Avenue, entered the depths of the unknown void, and went to the place where the golden sea tree of eternal consciousness is located. Unexpected. A sound came in. Come in too, there are some good things here that are useful to you too. The lords reminded their servants, the messenger. Anything else good? These extreme realms were excited and rushed in one by one. As far as they know, the chance that was born before the 100,000 eternal year was just a treasure and no other treasure, so it only caused the eternal realm to fight, but the half-step eternal realm did not gain any benefits, but was affected. The fight was heavy. It's the right time this time, hurry in. A 6-pole realm half-step eternal realm said excitedly. In the space-time territory, many 7-pole realm and even 8-pole realm half-step eternal realm powerhouses are unwilling to obey the order of the eternal realm to come here to find the opportunity once 100,000 eternal years, so they cannot come to the source sea. Therefore, those powerhouses lost this opportunity this time. Basically, the half-step eternal realm powerhouses above the 4-pole realm have passed through the Golden Avenue, but even if the 4-pole realm half-step eternal realm powerhouse has paid the price to pass the Golden Avenue, they can only barely walk into the deep void. The land where it is located cannot be penetrated at all, and it depends on luck whether it is possible to find good things or not. As for the 3-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse, they don't dare to enter at all. Once they step into the Golden Avenue, they will be bombarded by strange forces if they can't go far. Outside the Golden Avenue, the true River Sword ancestors of the Origin Temple and the others stood here, sighing one by one, and did not dare to go in at all. Forget it, this chance has nothing to do with me, it's more important to register, let's go. Jianzhu Junhe suggested. Well, let's go, I wonder if the Endless Ancestor has entered. Feng Ji Yuan Ancestor was a little curious. The Endless Ancestor has never appeared, and it is estimated that he has not entered. Junhe's Sword Ancestor is not sure. However, in any case, this opportunity has nothing to do with them. 810. The undead golden sunflower is another treasure that makes the extremes go crazy. Yi Tian was extremely excited. In such a short time, he has found dozens of treasures, most of which are treasures that he does not know. Boom! An aura of the Eternal Realm came from a distance, without covering it at all. The Lord of Eternal Realm has come in. Yi Tian immediately hid his breath, and even used his second order will to hide himself. As long as the Eternal Realm Lord does not investigate seriously, he can still hide himself. The real goal of those Eternal Realm Lords is only the Golden Sea Tree of Eternal Consciousness, so they did not explore other places. They also didn't want to waste time, causing the Golden Sea Tree of Eternal Knowledge to be taken away. Therefore, they did not find the trace of Yi Tian. However, when these eternal realms approached the golden sea tree of eternal consciousness, the speed was much slower one by one, and the strange power also affected them. Although Yi Tian is interested in the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, he knows that he cannot compete with the eternal realm, so his goal is only other resources. Compared with other extreme realms, his will is comparable to the eternal realm, so he can go to more places. So, he can get more resources. Almost, it's time for the clone to go back with these resources. Yi Tian muttered. Chapter 1646 The Holy Flower of the Morning, Yi Tian and #039's excitement. Wow! The clone returned to the source sea with various resources, but just as he was about to arrive at the Golden Avenue and was about to go out, a figure stopped Yi Tian. Hand over the harvest inside. The figure opened his mouth. Don't think about it. Yi Tian refused. Court death. The opponent shot directly, and his strength was completely exposed. 7 poles half-step eternal realm. And Yi Tian is only a half-step eternal realm, not the opponent's opponent. However, with the strength of the opponent, if you want to kill yourself, you can't do it. Boom. The two sides fought. Yi Tian found that he was not suppressed much, and quickly understood why. Because he ignored the impact of the strange power, but this Kiji realm still needed to resist the impact of the strange power, so he couldn't exert his full strength. Moreover, Yi Tian's endless eternity is a legendary eternity, surpassing the upper eternity, and its life-saving ability is even more terrifying. Therefore, even if injured, he can recover quickly. This caused Yi Tian to fight for a long time, and it was nothing at all. Damn, can't kill him. The 7-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse has completely given up. If he continues to entangle, he is afraid that he will not gain much. So, he stopped fighting and entered this world. Humph. Yi Tian snorted coldly. He knows the identity of this 7-pole half-step eternal level powerhouse. He is one of the 7 native realms of Yuanai, and he is also known as the origin of the mullet, one of the 6 extremes of Yuanai. The strength of Wu Yu Yuanzu is no less than that of Wu Ji Bingzu, and he is also very low-key and rarely appears. This time, he also appeared. Original mullet, dare to attack me, I will never forgive you in the future. Yi Tian rushed out of the Golden Avenue, returned to the Source Sea, and soon returned to the dark forbidden area, sending many resources to the body one by one before returning. The void world where the Golden Sea Tree of Eternal Consciousness is located is radiated by the Golden Sea Tree of Eternal Consciousness. Therefore, if many extreme realms are unable to advance, they will rely on the edge to advance and dare not go deep. There was even an extreme realm who saw a treasure and made a big fight. However, very few extremes fall. After all, when the difference in strength is not large, it is more difficult to want to fall. Yi Tian will not conflict with other extreme realms, where he is, other extreme realms cannot come at all. But Yi Tian didn't want to meet the Lord of Eternal Realm either, so he just kept looking for resources in that area. In short, almost all the resources in this area belonged to him, and no one came to snatch it from him. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian harvested batch after batch of resources, and every time he harvested more than 10 resources, he let the clone leave. Gradually, Yi Tian gained more and more. This day, Yi Tian found a treasure that he couldn't help screaming. The Holy Flower of the Morning. The sacred flower of Taichan is an incomparably precious treasure, and the Source Sea is almost incomparably rare, and every time it appears, it causes countless slaughter of the Supreme in the half-step eternal realm. Once, a sacred morning flower was born, and too many half-step eternal realm fights eventually led to an eternal realm who took this sacred morning sacred flower away. It can be seen that the eternal realm will not ignore the holy flower of the morning. Because the holy flower of the morning can easily allow a creature to reach the half-step eternal realm, and its foundation is extremely strong, it can even reverse the robbery body, and even if it is not condensed into an eternal body, it can raise the robbery body to a level comparable to the lower eternal body. That is to say, if he obtains this morning holy flower, he can directly raise his wife to the half-step eternal realm, and the cultivation base reaches the extreme of the half-step eternal realm. In addition, for a period of time after the breakthrough, comprehension and perception will explode, and various eternal skills can be easily comprehended. Therefore, it is no problem for his wife to directly reach the pinnacle of the peak eternal realm. Of course, he did not recommend his wife to step into the extreme realm, otherwise it would be a little difficult to hit the eternal realm. Keep it. Yi Tian immediately took the holy flower of Taichan away, and then let the clone take the holy flower of Taichan back to the forbidden area of AA darkness immediately. Otherwise, once known by eternal realm, I'm afraid I wouldn't mind erasing him and robbing this sacred morning flower. After all, even if it is the eternal realm, I am afraid that there are relatives who have not reached the half-step eternal realm, and they also need the holy flower of the morning. Soon, the clone successfully returned to the dark forbidden area, and Yi Tian immediately called his wife Xiao Yu. He wants Xiao Yu to refine the holy flower of Taichen as soon as possible, otherwise he will always worry about being robbed if he stays by his side. Once Xiao Yu has refined the Taichen sacred flower, there is no need to worry. Soon, his wife Xiao Yu came. Quote. Xiao Yu shouted. Yue, you immediately refine this morning holy flower. Yi Tian said quickly. What is the holy flower of Taichen? Xiao Yu asked. Yi Tian explained. The sacred flower of Taichen is one of the top treasures in the Source Sea. It can instantly make your cultivation reach half-step eternal realm, and you can also comprehend eternal skills. Its strength is definitely comparable to the top half-step eternity. Husband, such a precious treasure, refine it yourself. Xiao Yu didn't want such a treasure to be wasted on her body. Yi Tian shook his head. Yue, your husband, my strength can surpass the top half-step eternal realm, and it would be a waste to use it on me. 1. Then use it for Xingchen and Xingyu. Xiao Yu said again. Don't worry, I will find other treasures in the future, and I will definitely use them for them. This time you must use them. Yi Tian said in a commanding tone. Xiao Yu did not refuse, and started refining the Taichen holy flower in front of Yi Tian. And Yi Tian immediately accelerated the time, allowing Xiao Yu to break through quickly. At the same time, Yi Tian's avatar also returned to the void world where the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge was, and continued to serve as a porter. The other side. For money. A Ming eternal realm is struggling to move forward, and it is not very far from the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, but it is still some distance to reach the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. So, they took out their precious treasures one by one to ease the suppression of heaven and earth and resist the impact of strange forces. In this way, they walked a little faster. In the eternal realm, the strength is strong and weak. And the Xuanyu Lord is undoubtedly the top existence among these lords, stronger than other lords, and his will is also very strong. Therefore, he is the closest to the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. Unexpected, Lord Xuanyu took out a mirror, which resisted the shock of the strange power released by the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. Immediately, he instantly came to the front of the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. Lord Xuanyu, you actually have a mirror of heavenly consciousness. The other eternal realm lords were dumbfounded. Ha ha ha, the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge belongs to me. Lord Xuanyu said excitedly. Chapter 1647 The Eternal Realm War. Countless golden runes appeared, and under the control of the mysterious Jade Lord, they sealed the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. Although the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge can release a strange impact, it is only a tree after all, not a powerhouse in the eternal realm, so it cannot resist the seal of the eternal realm at all. Soon, the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge was sealed. At the moment of the seal, the strange impact disappeared instantly. And Lord Xuanyu immediately took away the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, and then prepared to escape. Lord Xuanyu, hand over the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. A lord of the eternal realm stopped the Lord Xuanyu. Even if Lord Xuanyu's strength was stronger than other eternal realms, he could not stop so many eternal realms, so he was stopped. Boom! The war broke out. The aftermath of the terrifying eternal realm battle swept all around, and countless treasure resources were shaken into pieces by the aftermath of the eternal realm. The place where Yi Tian was located was not very far from the place where the eternal realm fought, and it was immediately affected. The speed of the eternal realm is too fast. The golden tree was taken away so quickly. If they were a little later, I could still find some resources. It's a pity. 810. Yi Tian said helplessly. Immediately, he swallowed his avatar into the inner world to copy his body to resist the aftermath of the eternal battle. In this way, even if the cloned body is finally annihilated, the clone will not be annihilated. Escape. Yi Tian shuttled quickly, but was still cracked by the aftermath of the battle in the eternal realm. If it weren't for the fact that the legendary eternal body endless eternal body's resilience was too strong, it would even be better than the life-saving power of a half-step eternal realm powerhouse in the 7 extreme realm to a certain extent. The ability is even terrifying. Otherwise, the group he had just now had been annihilated. Not only Yi Tian is fleeing, but other extreme realms are also fleeing. Yi Tian and the others have not escaped from this void, and the cracks are here. The Golden Avenue was also torn apart, and countless terrifying aftermaths swept across the world. Some supreme people in half-step eternal realm who were watching the lively outside, bear the brunt of the impact, and were directly turned into ashes. The endless territory began to crumble, and some nearby exotic worlds and even the eternal world began to be unable to withstand the aftermath of the eternal battle. Although the rules of the Source Sea are blessing the exotic world and the eternal world, they cannot stop the impact of the eternal realm. And in this case, it is impossible to travel through the void at all. At this time, Yi Tian had rushed out from the Sea of Aa Silence, but he was not far from the aftermath of the eternal realm battle. His flesh has been torn badly, but overall there is no major problem. However, he would become like this, and he was too close to the eternal realm, and he did not get the information of the eternal realm, and he did not escape immediately. And those extreme realms from the space-time territory basically got the news in advance, even if it was only a second in advance, it was enough to escape. Therefore, few of those extreme realms from the time and space territory have fallen, but those who came from the Source Sea and did not rely on the Lord of the Eternal Realm are miserable. Soon, Yi Tian's cloned body was finally far away from the battlefield of the Eternal Realm battle. Immediately, the clone came out of the inner world of the cloned body, and was injured, but it was no big deal. Then, the clone returned to the dark forbidden area, which was a sigh of relief. Lord Xuanyu was injured, and he was seriously injured. With so many lords besieging him, he couldn't stop him at all. You really want to stop me? I'm just a clone. You really have someone but you don't have a clone. Be careful, I'll try to take one away. Lord Xuanyu threatened. The Lord Lianyi smiled and said, Lord Xuanyu, your threats are useless, the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge is too valuable, whoever gets it will rise, do you think we will give up? No lord will give up, and they all want to kill this clone of the Xuanyu Lord, thereby taking away the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. Boom! Lord Xuanyu was sent flying by one after another attack, his body shattered, as if he was about to fall. At this time, CJFI, a figure tore through the void and came to the battlefield forcibly. I saw his sword smashed into the sky, smashing many attacks from the eternal realm, and then came to the side of the Xuanyu Lord. Lord Xuanyu thought that a powerful lord was coming to save him, but when he saw who it was, his expression changed. Lord Void Sword, you are here. Lord Xuanyu's expression changed drastically. There is only one possibility for this impossible person to save him, and it is also for the eternal knowledge of Jinhaishu. Without a word, the virtual sword lord slashed with one sword. Lord Xuanyu couldn't stop it at all, and any means were useless. Puff! This sword smashed many defenses of the Xuanyu Lord, and every cell was completely annihilated, and even the will was completely smashed. With just one sword, this clone of Lord Xuanyu completely fell. Although Lord Xuanyu was seriously injured, even if he was not seriously injured, 3 swords would be enough to kill him. Lord Void Sword, is it illegal for you to participate? Lord Ling was somewhat dissatisfied. The other eternal realms are full, and they feel that the Lord of the Void Sword should not participate. In the Lord Alliance, there is an unwritten rule, that is, the eternal realm lords such as the illusory sword lord should not participate in the chance of once every 100,000 eternal years. This is an opportunity for ordinary eternal realm lords to compete, and it is not useful to eternal realms such as Void Sword Lord. Because of this, they are qualified to snatch, otherwise there is no chance to get such an opportunity. This lord has been robbed, what can you do? Lord Void Sword snorted coldly, and immediately took the sealed golden sea tree of eternal consciousness from Lord Xuanyu's clone corpse. During the whole process, the other lords of the eternal realm did not dare to take action, and let the Lord of the virtual sword take away the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge. It was not until the Void Sword Lords completely disappeared that these lords expressed their anger. Damn it, the Lord of the Void Sword blatantly broke the unspoken rules, it's so hateful. The golden sea tree of eternal knowledge is indeed qualified to attract the attention of a strong person like the illusory sword lord, but the illusory sword lord is definitely not for himself. The golden sea tree of eternal knowledge is not of much use to him. It should be for his little lover, Lord Qingshui. HMPH, Lord Qingshui's talent is not good, he was abruptly promoted to the eternal realm, and now she has prepared the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge for her, I am afraid that it can surpass us. There is no way. Who made Lord Qingshui hook up with Lord of Void Sword? At the level of eternal realm, the Lord who can still be affected by love is probably the Lord of Void Sword. Let's go, I didn't seize the opportunity this time. After returning, we will report the information to the Lord Alliance, and we must let the Lord Alliance punish the Void Sword Lord. The worst one should be Lord Xuanyu. If he lost a clone and lost the golden sea tree of eternal knowledge, he would probably go crazy, and he can't provoke him recently. Soon, these eternal realm lords left the Source Sea one by one. And this area gradually returned to calm. Chapter 1648 The Seventh Realm Half-Step Eternal Realm. After the lords of the Eternal Realm left, one by one, the Eternal Realm came here one by one, seeing the appalling appearance of this area, and sighed one by one. This is the battle of the Eternal Realm. This is still not much participation in the Eternal Realm, and the time for the fight is too short. If it continues, the Eternal Realm is afraid that there will be wars in all places in the Source Sea. Of course, when that time comes, the Alliance of Lords will definitely stop it. But at that time, it was already too late. You and I didn't know how many heaven and earth would be destroyed, how many practitioners would fall and die. In particular, some supreme beings are extremely angry. They learned that a chance to be born once in 100,000 eternal years was born here, and they fled at the first time, but the eternal world they were in did not leave, thus destroying the aftermath of the battle in the eternal realm among. Thus, they are angry, but helpless. Those are eternal realms, they are like ants, what can they do? The forbidden sea of Aa's silent sea is gone. Yi Tian muttered. It has to be said that the strength of the eternal realm is too terrifying. He can't do anything about the sea of Aa's silence, but the battle of the eternal realm can destroy the sea of Aa's silence. Compared to the strength of the eternal realm, he is still too weak now, and he can't even bear the aftermath. Wow, Yi Tian left here and returned to the forbidden area of Aa darkness. This time, the great opportunity of the 100,000 eternal year, those eternal realms actually have nothing to gain, but he has gained a lot. Among all the extreme realms and half-step eternal realms, his harvest can definitely be ranked first. Moreover, he also obtained a lot of resources that can improve his strength. Therefore, his strength can definitely be improved a lot, and his strength can definitely easily enter a higher level. So next, he has to retreat for a period of time. Dark Forbidden Area. Yi Tian stayed in the Void Origin Hall and began to retreat and practice. He took out the Void Scale Golden Leaf Grass and refined it directly. Boom! The terrifying energy frantically tempered his body strength continued to increase, and his cultivation continued to improve. It is a pity that his endless eternal body has reached the perfect state, so the Void Scale Golden Leaf Grass cannot continue to improve his endless eternal body. Time passed slowly, and finally the energy of this Void Scale Golden Leaf Grass was exhausted. My strength has increased several times, and I am afraid that I will soon reach the level of the sixth realm in the half-step eternal realm. Yi Tian said excitedly. Subsequently, he continued to refine some resources. Although he does not know many resources, he can still find out after careful investigation. After knowing the usefulness, he can use these resources to improve his strength. Gradually, Yi Tian's strength reached the level of the sixth realm in the half-step eternal realm. This time, he was about to hit the seventh realm and half-step eternal realm before he was ready to leave. And the resources he obtained this time are enough for him to reach the level of the seventh realm, even more than enough. Of course, there are some treasures that are not suitable for improving strength, and have other uses. He plans to keep them or give them to the people as a background. Before you know it, another few robbery years have passed. This day, Yi Tian laughed wildly and was extremely excited. He has successfully reached the seventh realm half-step eternal realm level. However, the remaining resources cannot continue to improve his strength, because his cultivation base has reached a limit, and it is difficult to continue to improve. If you want to continue to improve your strength, only by continuing to comprehend the innate eternal rules can you hope to be promoted to the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm level. Otherwise, the half-step eternal realm level of the 7 extreme realm is his current limit. For example, in the 6 great realms of Yuan, the strongest is only a half-step eternal realm of the 7th realm, and it has never been able to break through to the 8th realm. In fact, their eternal body is not bad, there is not much difference from the legendary eternal body, and they have also created a large number of eternal bodies. Their understanding of the innate eternal rules may be deeper than Yi Tian, Aa, and the foundation of their cultivation has reached an incredible level, degree. Perhaps their foundation at the beginning is not as good as Yi Tian, Aa, but after reaching the extreme state, there are many resources to make up the foundation or strengthen the foundation. Therefore, compared to these people, Yi Tian does not have many advantages, and if there are no other opportunities, it is difficult for him to be promoted to the 8-pole state and half-step eternal state level. Unexpected, Yi Tian thought of a way to improve his strength, that is, to improve the world of will. His current world of will is 2nd order, and if it is the 3rd to 3rd order, there may be hope to reach the 8-pole half-step eternal level. After practicing for a few more years, Yi Tian's strength did not improve much, so he began to work hard to improve the strength of the human race. With his help, the strength of the supreme human race has improved rapidly, and Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu and others have also obtained several treasures bestowed by Yi Tian, reshaping their foundations, enhancing their potential, plus many upgrades and repairs. For the resources, one by one, the strength quickly rose to the top of the 7th level supreme. Ask for flowers. At this speed, it is not difficult for their cultivation to reach the 1st level supreme. If you want to be promoted to the half-step eternal realm, you can take the void true liquid, or you can hit the half-step eternal realm with your own efforts. This day, his wife, Xiao Yu, is out. Husband, I broke through. Xiao Yu appeared in front of Yi Tian with a look of excitement. Yi Tian looked at it and saw that Xiao Yu's cultivation had reached the pinnacle of half-step eternal realm, and his understanding of eternal rules had also reached a very high level, and perhaps he had created quite a few eternal skills. Point 0. Therefore, the combat power of the half-step eternal realm is not weaker than that of the 12 ancestors of the Yuanshan Pavilion, and even stronger. This is the effect of the holy flower of Taichen, it is too heaven-defying. With Xiao Yu's breakthrough, the human race now has 2 half-step eternal realms. In the years that followed, Yi Tian relied on his strength of the 7th realm and half-step eternal realm, broke into many treasures, and plundered many resources one by one. Many resources are useless to him, and he is not using it for himself, but for the human race. Unknowingly, another long, millions of robbery years have passed, which is equivalent to the passing of several eternal years. Now, the human race has given birth to a large number of supreme beings, and even Yi Xingchen and others have reached the realm of the 9th level supreme beings. Among them, Yi Yu directly used the real liquid of nothingness to elevate to the half-step eternal realm, and is not ready to rely on himself to break through. At the same time, Yi Tian found a lot of resources that could help them refine their avatars, so many high-level Terrans had avatars. But Yi Tian's own strength has not improved much, but his will has improved a little, and dozens of will worlds have been opened up, and some eternal skills have been created, and the previous eternal skills have been improved. In addition, his perception of the innate eternal rules is stronger. But even so, he is still far away from the eternal realm, half a step from the 8 extreme realm. So, Yi Tian was going to decide to leave the Source Sea and go to the space-time territory to find an opportunity. Of course, he just copied the body and went, and the body still stayed in the dark forbidden area. Chapter 1649 Maple Leaf Territory, First Entry. The half-step eternal realm in the Source Sea wants to go to the space-time territory, and the most common way is to join a space-time lord and let the time-space lord take him out of the Source Sea. But after these years of inquiries, Yi Tian also knew a way, that is to enter the space-time territory through the space-time island, which is also an opportunity for the Lord Alliance to give Yuanai's half-step eternal realm to enter the space-time territory. Among the countless space-time territories, many time-space lords do not have lords, but public space-time territories, allowing any half-step eternal realm to enter. However, the space-time territory is only open to the extreme realm, and the general extreme realm is still unable to enter the space-time territory, and it is necessary to pass the assessment before leaving the Source Sea. In addition, even if you pass the assessment, you have to pay a certain fee to the manager of the space-time island as a toll. Otherwise, it will still be blocked. August 10th, this day. Yi Tian's cloned body came to the space-time island. The space-time island was actually transformed from the fragments of a space-time territory, and the entrance was very hidden. Yi Tian entered the space-time island and was immediately stopped by 2 puppets. This is not an ordinary puppet, but a puppet whose strength is comparable to that of the 6th realm and the half-step eternal realm. I'm here to participate in the assessment of the space-time island, and I'm going to the space-time territory. Yi Tian indicated his intention. Come with me. A puppet brought Yi Tian to a tower in the space-time territory. Here, Yi Tian needs to be assessed. In fact, as long as the strength is in the 5-pole realm and half-step eternal realm, there is a great chance to pass the test, but not many people want to go to the space-time territory. After all, life is eternal, and it is very comfortable to cultivate in the Source Sea in the 5 or 6 extremes. If you find a great opportunity, no one will snatch it from yourself. And going to the space-time territory, it is more difficult to find a good opportunity, and the hope of falling is very high. Soon, the space-time island arranged an assessment for Yi Tian, that is, to fight a puppet with a strength in the 5 extremes realm. Yi Tian easily defeated the opponent and passed the assessment. In front of the space-time passage of the space-time island, an old man guards it here. He is not a puppet, he is a half-step eternal existence in the extreme realm, and his strength is very powerful. Yi Tian estimated that his strength had at least reached the 7th realm and half-step eternal realm, and even reached the 8th realm and half-step eternal realm. To enter the space-time territory, you need to pay resources worth 100,000 space-time coins. The old man said coldly. Space-time currency is a currency of space-time territory, Yi Tian is aware of it. So, he took out some resources and quickly collected 100,000 space-time coins. There are 3 space-time territories that this space-time channel can go to, namely Qing's territory, Baishui territory and Maple Leaf territory. They are all relatively large and open and unowned territories among the time-space territories. You choose a territory, and I will open the time-space tunnel, send you over. The old man introduced. Maple Leaf territory. Yi Tian chose the road at will. Boom, the space-time channel opened, forming a huge space-time vortex. Yi Tian walked into the vortex of time and space, and was immediately pulled by a powerful force. The entire body directly smashed the time and space rules of the Yuanai, and even smashed the barriers of the Yuanai, and entered another world. Dark, void, empty, endless. This is the void area between the Source Sea and the space-time territory. There are no rules here, no energy, everything is nothingness. Yi Tian was in the passage of time and space, and felt the suffocation in the void area, and his body was a little uncomfortable. But soon, he came to the end of the space-time passage, Maple Leaf territory. Yi Tian really didn't know anything about the situation in the Maple Leaf territory. Therefore, the first thing he did when he came here was to be familiar with the environment here and the situation of the space-time territory. Maple Leaf territory, Tianyu City. This city is connected to a space-time territory, and is a well-known city in the Maple Leaf territory. After Yi Tian lived in Maple Leaf City, he began to understand the situation in Maple Leaf territory. After a while, Yi Tian had a general understanding of the situation here. The Maple Leaf territory is not very large. In terms of area, it is as big as an exotic world. Compared with the Sea of Aa origin, it is simply not worth mentioning. But the space-time territory is small, but the cultivation environment here is better than that of eternal heaven and earth. Putting any resource in eternal heaven and earth is enough for many supreme beings to compete. Moreover, the races born in the space-time territory are very powerful, and they can easily cultivate to the supreme. Certainly, in the realm of time and space, it is very difficult to become a half-step eternal realm. What surprised Yi Tian was that the creatures in the space-time territory could not exist forever, and their lifespan was limited. For example, the supreme beings in the space-time territory have a lifespan limit of 100,000 eternity years. Although it is a very long period of time, there is a limit after all, and the lifespan of many ordinary powerhouses in Yuanai is infinite. This may be the flaw of the space-time territory. Yi Tian thought to himself. In the realm of time and space, half-step eternal realm can only live for 10 million eternal years, and only eternal realm lord is truly eternal. Perhaps it is this limitation that caused the space-time territory to not have an extinction crisis due to the expansion of life. In addition, the battles between time and space territories are very frequent, so each time and space territory can operate in a balanced manner. The Maple Leaf territory has many half-step eternal realm, and even extreme realm powerhouses, the strongest being 3 8-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouses. The status of the Baji realm half-step eternal realm powerhouse is second only to the general eternal realm. They have high prestige and power in the Maple Leaf territory, and many half-step eternal realm have taken refuge in them. In addition to these, Yi Tian also learned about the division of time and space territories. The space-time territory is divided into ordinary space-time territory and eternal space-time wind blade. It is a territory, and 15.8 is a good one. However, the Maple Leaf territory has not produced top resources, so it has not been valued by the newly promoted Eternal Realm Lords, and it is still an open and unowned territory. Among the endless space-time territories, there are many such ordinary space-time territories, and there are many broken space-time territories. However, there are not many eternal space-time territories, only hundreds of them, and the lord of each eternal space-time territory is an extremely terrifying existence in the eternal realm. For Yi Tian, the Maple Leaf territory is still suitable for him and can be used as his starting place. In the days that followed, Yi Tian began to make friends with each extreme realm, and the more extreme realms he made, the opportunity to get in touch with some opportunities and information. Finally on this day, an extreme state invited Yi Tian to join a relatively free force. Chapter 1650 The Secret Technique of Eternal Compression. The Endless Ancestor, I would like to invite you to join the Tower of Doom. 1. Junwu Yuanzu, a powerhouse in the six-pole realm and a half-step eternal realm, invited him. Junwu Yuanzu is one of the extreme realms and half-step eternal realms that Yi Tian has made friends with, and the Tower of Doom is not a force in the Maple Leaf territory but an organization that spans multiple time and space territories. This organization does not have the Eternal Realm. It should be said that once a half-step Eternal Realm breaks through to the Eternal Realm, it will automatically withdraw from the Tower of Doom. Because the Tower of Doom is an idle organization seeking to break through to the Eternal Realm, it can also be said to be a mutual aid organization, and the ultimate goal is to become the Eternal Realm. Therefore, once you break through to the Eternal Realm, you must leave the Tower of Doom, otherwise, the nature of the Tower of Doom will change. In fact, there is another reason, that is, the 8-pole half-step Eternal Realm powerhouses in the Tower of Doom do not want an ordinary half-step Eternal Realm to break through to the Eternal Realm and step on their heads all at once, leading the way, them. For Yi Tian, this organization is not bad. So, Yi Tian agreed to join the Tower of Doom. This day, Junwu Yuanzu 29 brought Yi Tian to the branch of the Tower of Doom in Maple Leaf territory. Here, Yi Tian saw many half-step Eternal Realms of extreme realm level. After all, for many half-step Eternals, the model of the Tower of Doom organization is still very attractive to them, and there is no need to pay any price. In the Maple Leaf territory, the Tower of Doom does not have the 8-step half-step Eternal Realm powerhouse, only the 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm, and there are a lot of them, with 23. Now, Yi Tian has joined the Tower of Doom, even if he has 24 7-pole half-step Eternal level powerhouses. The Tower of Doom is far more extreme than the Sea of Aaa origin just by the branch of the Maple Lord. Yi Tian couldn't help sighing. From this, it can be seen that Yuanai is really not suitable for half-step Eternal Realm cultivation, but if you want to break through to the 9-pole realm, you have to go to Yuanai realm. There is no specific division of positions in the Tower of Doom. On the surface, everyone has the same position, but in private, those 7-pole half-step Eternal Realms still ignore those ordinary half-step Eternal Realms, and even the 1-2-3-pole realm. Half-step Eternal Realm powerhouses are also not qualified to communicate with them. Yi Tian had just joined the Tower of Doom, so naturally he couldn't squeeze into the high-level circle of the Tower of Doom immediately, but he still learned a lot of things through Junwu Yuanzu. For example, in the Maple Leaf territory, the strongest tower in the Doomsday realm is Kiji realm half-step Eternal Realm powerhouse, Morning Z. The 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm is also divided into strengths and weaknesses, and Yi Tian belongs to the 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm powerhouse who has just broken through, while Morning Z belongs to the top 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm powerhouse. After joining the Tower of Doom, he discovered that the treasure house of ancient books of the Tower of Doom also recorded the secrets of how to break through to the 8th realm and half-step Eternal Realm, but he could not obtain such secrets in Yuanai material. Basically, after the strength reaches the 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm, it will touch the boundary barrier. This is also known as the first boundary barrier. And the barrier between the 8-pole realm half-step Eternal Realm and the 9-pole realm half-step Eternal Realm is called the second boundary barrier. Both of the two boundary barriers are difficult to break through, but the second boundary barrier is more than 100 times more difficult than the first boundary barrier. After all, among the countless space-time territories, there are still quite a few half-step Eternal Realms in the 8 extreme realms, but the half-step Eternal Realm in the 9 extreme realms is too rare, and there may not be any in this era. If you want to break the first boundary barrier, there are 2 solutions given in the Secrets of the Tower of Doom. The first plan is to break the barriers of the eternal body first, and the half-step Eternal Realm that can cultivate to the Kiji realm basically has the eternal body, and cultivates the eternal body to the perfect realm. Consummation is only the limit on the surface, but it is still possible to continue to improve, but it is extremely difficult. Above perfection is transcendence. The transcendental eternal body is a realm that breaks the limit. Once the eternal body reaches this realm, it can break the first boundary barrier. But the premise is that your strength has reached the first boundary barrier. If it is just an ordinary 7-pole realm half-step Eternal Realm or 6-pole realm half-step Eternal Realm, then even if the eternal body is elevated to the transcendence realm, there is no way to break the first boundary barrier. The second plan is to comprehend the innate eternal rules to an unimaginable height, and then use the innate eternal rules to forcibly break the first boundary barrier. However, the second option is more difficult. Basically, those 8-pole half-step Eternal Realm are all broken through the first method. There is a huge gap in strength between the 7th realm half-step Eternal Realm and the 8th realm half-step Eternal Realm, even worlds apart. An 8-pole half-step eternal realm can even deal with 107-pole half-step eternal realms by one person, and the top 8-pole half-step eternal realm can even fight against weaker eternal realms. The first boundary barrier, the transcendental eternal body. Yi Tian shook his head. At present, he has no way to break the first boundary barrier. However, he wants to continue to improve his strength, and he can still do it to the peak of the 7th realm in the half-step eternal realm. In fact, in the space-time territory, there are many secret techniques to enhance the will, but most of them are not as powerful as the will world. In addition, the half-step eternal power of the extreme realm can continue to be compressed, infinitely close to the real eternal power. Otherwise, those extreme realms in the space-time territory would not be able to reach the peak level of the half-step eternal realm of the 7-pole realm, let alone the first boundary barrier. And Yi Tian's half-step eternal power has never been compressed, and it has been upgraded to the 7-pole half-step eternal power. If you say it, no one will believe it. However, this can't blame Yi Tian for not compressing, in fact he really doesn't know. There are indeed several 7-pole half-step eternal realm in Yuanai, but it is impossible for those few to tell him this secret, and the few extreme realms in Yuanshan Pavilion do not know this secret. But it's not too late to know now. Once his half-step eternal power is successfully compressed, his strength will definitely increase rapidly. But it is not easy to compress the half-step eternal power, and it requires the eternal compression technique. Different eternal compression secret techniques can compress differently. For example, some eternal compression secret techniques can only compress 5.5 times the eternal power, but the top eternal compression secret technique can compress 100 times. But the more advanced eternal compression secret technique is extremely precious, and the Tower of Doom is not available. Unless you join some eternal time and space territories and pledge allegiance to those eternal realms, you can obtain the top eternal compression secret technique. The eternal compression secret art currently sold by the Tower of Doom is 18 times higher, and even so, it has to pay some price to obtain it. Let's practice the eternal compression technique of 18-fold compression first. Yi Tian decided. Chapter 1651 The True Meaning Mountain, The Attention of the 8 Extremes. The eternal compression secret technique of the Tower of Doom is not expensive. Yi Tian only paid a low price to purchase such an eternal compression secret technique. This eternal compression secret technique is a roulette secret technique. It uses its own innate eternal rules to turn it into a regular roulette. It is in the regular roulette and begins to compress the half-step eternal power in the body. After obtaining the roulette secret technique, Yi Tian has been comprehending and practicing the roulette secret technique in the Maple Leaf territory for a long period of time. With the passage of time, the half-step eternal power in Yi Tian's body is compressed more and more powerful and pure, and more half-step eternal power can naturally be integrated in the body. Therefore, his cultivation base does not seem to have changed, but the half-step eternal power contained is much more, and the power is even stronger, and the strength naturally increases rapidly. It is not difficult to compress 5 times the power of eternity in half a step, but after compressing it 5 times, it is a little difficult to continue to compress it. After many robbery years, Yi Tian still managed to compress the power of eternity 5.5 times. His half-step eternal power is already very powerful, so it has been compressed 5 times, and the strength improvement is still very large. At this moment, Yi Tian felt that his strength had roughly reached the top 7-pole half-step eternal realm combat power, which was not too far from the first boundary barrier. After that, Yi Tian inquired about how to improve his will or compress his own half-step eternal power. These are also the 2 conveniences that Yi Tian can quickly improve his strength. Soon, he really found out. Among the many space-time territories, there are still many treasures that are comparable to or surpass the Rift Valley. Entering those places can slowly increase the will. As for how to quickly compress one's own half-step eternal power, except for a few resources that can assist in compressing half-step eternal power, it can only rely on the eternal compression secret technique. This is also the reason why the top eternal compression secret technique is extremely precious. If Yi Tian obtains the eternal compression secret technique that can compress 100 times, he can easily compress the eternal power 10 times in half a step, and even spend some time. Compressed up to 20 times. But the eternal compression secret technique, like the roulette secret technique, is far from being able to do so. The top eternal compression secret art, if you don't join some eternal realm forces, you can't get it at all. And those eternal realms will not help half-step eternal realm for no reason. Unless you become their servants and add their faction, it will be very difficult. Benefit 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. He was going to create his own eternal compression technique. After all, the eternal compression secret technique is also created by others, and those top eternal compression secret techniques come from those powerful eternal realms. Since those eternal realms can be created, he can also create them. He can use his cloned body to try again and again. Countless attempts will always create a good effect of the eternal compression secret technique. And this method, only he can do, and other half-step eternal realm can't imitate, unless it is death. Then, Yi Tian's avatar self-annihilated, condensed from the main body, and began to try to create the eternal compression secret technique again and again in the source sea. Of course, Yi Tian still bought a lot of eternal compression secret techniques, even the rubbish eternal compression secret techniques, he also bought some. With so many eternal compression secret techniques as a reference, his chances of successfully creating top eternal compression secret techniques are naturally greater. At the same time, Yi Tian's main body went to a treasure land, True Meaning Mountain. The location of Zhenyi Mountain is located in Shaoyang territory, and Shaoyang territory is occupied by a top 8-pole half-step eternal realm. Although the other party is not a lord and cannot completely control the territory, his own strength is not weaker than a weaker eternal. Therefore, it is qualified to occupy the territory of Shaoyang. And Zhenyi Mountain is naturally occupied by the 8-step half-step eternal realm, but the other party is also very clear that he cannot completely occupy this treasure land, so he publicly faces other half-step eternal realm, and any half-step eternal realm can enter the True Meaning Mountain. Practice. Certainly, if you want to enter the True Meaning Mountain, you still have to pay some resources, and these resources are not all in the hands of the 8-pole realm half-step eternal realm, and more than half of them have to be divided by the Lord's Alliance. Otherwise, without the recognition and blessing of the Lord Alliance, other eternal realms will definitely snatch this treasure. Soon, Yi Tian passed through the time-space teleportation formation in the Maple Leaf territory, teleporting several times on the way, and then came to the Shaoyang territory. Afterwards, Yi Tian came to Zhenyi Mountain in Shaoyang territory. The master of the Shaoyang territory, Zhenyiang Saint Ancestor, arranged a great formation here, and he also dispatched many half-step eternal realm guards, one of whom was in the 7th realm half-step eternal realm, and even touched the first boundary barrier. The first powerhouse under the command of the true Yang Saint Ancestor. Therefore, no one dares to be presumptuous here, even if there is an eternal realm who wants to come here to cultivate, he must give the true Yang Saint Ancestor face. By paying 200,000 space-time coins, you can enter it for cultivation, and the time limit is an eternal year. The half-step eternal realm guarding here stopped Yi Tian and said. Yi Tian took out 200,000 space-time coins and entered the Mountain of True Meaning. As soon as he entered the Mountain of True Meaning, he immediately sensed an attack of will. This will seemed to suppress his will all the time. It was different from the will of Rift Valley, but it was mostly for the purpose of tempering the will. Moreover, the will-boosting effect here is good, and even has some effects on the eternal realm. Officially, Yi Tian will come here to practice. Although the person he came here is not the body, but the will of copying the body has been improved, and the will of the body will also be improved, and it will naturally be much easier to open up the world of will. Therefore, there is no difference between the original body and the replica body. Yi Tian stepped into the depths of Zhenyi Mountain step by step, and quickly attracted the attention of other half-step eternal realms in Zhenyi Mountain. When Yi Tian surpassed some of the 7-pole half-step eternal realm positions and came to the top of Zhenyi Mountain, even the true Yang Saint Ancestor was shocked. Somewhere in Shaoyang territory, true Yang Saint Ancestor's gaze passed through the layers of void and looked at Yi Tian on the top of Zhenyi Mountain. Eternal realm. No, this person is not the eternal realm, but the Qiji money obtained realm, but the Qiji realm can't come to the top of the True Meaning Mountain at all. There is a position that only the eternal realm can reach. If you dare to cultivate there, the half-step eternal realm, if you do, your will be shattered and you will fall directly. True Yang Saint Ancestor was surprised. He quickly guessed the reason why Yi Tian was able to enter the top of True Meaning Mountain, that is, Yi Tian's will broke the boundary of will and stepped into the second-order eternal will, which is comparable to the will level of ordinary eternal realm. The second level is the eternal will, and the eternal will helps to break the first boundary barrier. This person has not reached the first boundary barrier. If he breaks it, he has at least 80% hope of breaking the shackles. If the half-step eternal power continues to compress with a few multiples, he has a 100% hope of breaking through to the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm. This son is qualified to let me befriend, true Yang Saint Ancestor said with a smile. However, he did not go to see Yi Tian immediately, and it would not be too late for him to go to see Yi Tian after Yi Tian's retreat was over. Chapter 1652 Baji Building. It works great. Yi Tian is very satisfied with the cultivation in Zhenyi Mountain. The willpower is slowly improving. Although the improvement is very weak, once it cooperates with the secret art of the world of will, it will be quite good. Occasionally, Yi Tian's clone cooperated with the cloned body to began to cultivate the world of will, and perfected the secret art of the world of will step by step. Of course, the clone is still in the source sea, not in the True Meaning Mountain. After all, there are many powerhouses here in True Meaning Mountain. Once the clones are condensed, they will inevitably attract the attention of those powerhouses. Therefore, Yi Tian let the clone stay in the dark forbidden area, and can also assist in copying the body and practice in the world of will. As time passed, the will suppression Yi Tian endured became stronger and stronger. Although Yi Tian can practice here for an eternal year and so can others, but no one will persist for an eternal year. After some robbery years passed, Yi Tian felt that his will had improved a lot, so he let the clone try to open up the world of will. At the beginning, the will world of course failed, but after many attempts, Yi Tian still found the right position to open the will world. In this way, the ontology and the replica body begin to open up the world of will. In this way, the number of Yi Tian's will worlds is increasing. Unconsciously, Yi Tian had cultivated for hundreds of thousands of tribulation years in Zhenyi Mountain. At this time, even the true Yang Saint ancestor was shocked. I practiced 810 for so long at the top of Zhenyi Mountain. Zhenyi Saint ancestor felt that he could not cultivate for such a long time at the top of Zhenyi Mountain, and could not bear the will of Zhenyi Mountain in the future. If he stayed there forcibly, there would be a problem with his will. But now it's been so long, and I don't see any problems. Obviously, Yi Tian's willpower is much stronger than his. After a long period of ascetic cultivation, his will has barely stepped into the second order eternal will. But now compared with Yi Tian, the gap is huge. I'm afraid that even some eternal wills are not as good as him. True Yang Saint ancestor guesses. Hundreds of thousands of robbery years have passed. And Yi Tian has been practicing hard here for an eternity of years, and his will has improved a lot. Today, he has opened up nearly 1,000 will worlds during this period. Currently, his will world has reached 6,277. However, in the later stage, it will be more difficult to open up a world of will. Even if he cultivates endless years in Zhenyi Mountain in the future, he will not be able to increase the world of will to 10,000. I am afraid that he needs a better treasure of will training before he can hope to improve to more than 10,000. Of course, Yi Tian was very satisfied with this penance CJFI. The improvement of will has greatly increased Yi Tian's strength. Moreover, in such a long time, Yi Tian's body did not do anything. He has been cultivating the roulette secret technique, compressing his half-step eternal power. In addition to experimenting with the world of cultivation will, Yi Tian's clone is also creating the eternal compression technique at other times. He did not create it out of thin air, but took the roulette secret technique as the core, absorbed the essence of other eternal compression secret techniques, and improved the roulette secret technique step by step. Today, the effect of the roulette secret technique has been greatly improved, and he has perfected it 33 times. In other words, the roulette secret technique can compress up to 33 times the half-step eternal power, and the effect is much stronger than before. Under the new roulette secret technique, Yi Tian succeeded in compressing the half-step eternal power 8 times, which is already quite a good degree of compression. Eightfold compression, adding nearly 1,000 will worlds, which directly improved Yi Tian's strength a lot. Now, Yi Tian has already felt the existence of the first boundary barrier, but still has not really touched the first world barrier. He felt that he only needed to compress the half-step eternal power to 10 times, then he would reach the first boundary barrier, and thus be qualified to hit the first boundary barrier. It's time to go out. Yi Tian got up and flew out of True Meaning Mountain. As soon as he flew out of the True Meaning Mountain, a figure stopped Yi Tian. The strong, the real strong. Yi Tian felt the threat. The opponent's strength was much stronger than him. He was not an opponent. Combined with the situation detected by the copy talent, he immediately knew who the person in front of him was. The owner of the Shaoyang territory, the 8-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse, the true Yang Saint ancestor. I have seen the true Sun ancestor. Yi Tian said politely. True Yang Saint ancestor was not surprised that Yi Tian was able to guess his identity, but invited him, Your Excellency, are you interested in going to my true Yang palace to sit? My pleasure. Yi Tian smiled. Immediately, Yi Tian followed Zhenyang Saint Ancestor to Zhenyang Palace, which was the residence and cultivation place of Zhenyang Saint Ancestor. I don't know what your name is. True Yang Saint Ancestor asked. The Endless Ancestor. Yi Tian introduced himself. The Endless Ancestor, I think you are about to reach the 8-pole realm and the half-step eternal realm level. True Young Saint Ancestor said. It's still a long way off. Yi Tian shook his head. From the 7th realm to the 8th realm, the first boundary barrier must be broken, but I may not be able to break it. 1. Ha ha ha, True Young Saint Ancestor smiled and said, with the Endless Ancestor, you have reached the realm of the second order eternal will, and it is naturally easy to break the first boundary barrier. Can the second order eternal will help break the first boundary barrier? Yi Tian was a little surprised, he really didn't know. Natural habit. Zhenyang Saint Ancestor nodded, it's just that few people have raised their will to the second order eternal will without breaking the first order barrier. I managed to reach the second order eternal will by breaking the one spiritual barrier, great willpower, improvement, and after the endless years of hard work in Zhenyi Mountain, this is achieved. The general 8-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse, the will is still at the first level. When Yi Tian heard this, he was immediately extremely excited. In this way, as long as he has completely touched the level of the first boundary barrier, with a little impact, there is a great hope that he will break the first boundary barrier and step into the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm level. He also finally knew why the holy ancestor Zhenyang invited him to be a guest. It turned out to be treating him as the future half-step eternal realm of the 8 extreme realms. Afterwards, Yi Tian chatted with the True Young Saint Ancestor, learned a lot of secrets, and greatly expanded his knowledge. When the True Sun Saint learned that Yi Tian had joined the Tower of Doom, he couldn't help saying, Endless Ancestor, there is no need to join the Tower of Doom. In fact, even the 8 poles of the Tower of Doom don't care much. Although the Tower of Doom is an idle force and has no restrictions, it can't bring you any benefits at all. I suggest you join the Baji building, which is also an idle force. The entry requirements are extremely high, and the Baji realm is half-step eternal. Only the realm is qualified to join, and it has a great influence. Even many eternal realms dare not offend the Bajilo. Moreover, those eternal realms who come out of the Bajilo are the real powerhouses in the eternal realm, and occasionally it will also give Baji building a chance. It can be said that most of those Baji realm who did not join the eternal realm have joined the Baji building, and the Baji realm of your Doomsday Tower is also one of the members of the Baji building. After Yi Tian weighed it, he decided to join Bajilo. However, it must be after he has truly stepped into the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm, not now. Chapter 1653 The First Hearing of the Juji Realm. True Young Saint Ancestor gave Yi Tian a token. Once Yi Tian stepped into the 8 extreme realm, he could immediately join the 8 extreme building. After all, the Bajilo organization is much more powerful than the Tower of Doom. Once he becomes a half-step eternal realm powerhouse in the Baji realm, the Tower of Doom will be of little help to him. In fact, even if the holy ancestor True Young did not say anything, he would have to find a more powerful force in the future. Yi Tian stayed in Zhenyang Palace for a few days, exchanged discussions with Zhenyang Saint Ancestor, and then left Zhenyang Palace. After returning to the Maple Leaf territory, Yi Tian's cloned body condensed the clone, and then self-annihilated, and then let the clone condense this cloned body, so that the cultivation base can keep up with the main body. In the years that followed, Yi Tian didn't practice much in the world of will, but instead made every effort to compress the half-step eternal power in his body. Yi Tian's current goal is only one, and that is to compress the half-step eternal power to 10 times as soon as possible, so as to increase the strength to the level that really touches the first boundary barrier, so as to attack the first boundary barrier and step into the 8th extreme realm half-step eternal realm. In order to break through faster, Yi Tian even purchased an eternal compression secret technique from the True Young Saint Ancestor that could compress 50 times the half-step eternal power. For other extreme realms, the eternal compression secret technique that can compress 50 times is very rare, but the True Young Saint Ancestor is a half-step eternal realm of the 8 extreme realm, and the combat effectiveness is relatively weak. Therefore, the True Young Saint Ancestor naturally has a top-notch eternal compression technique. Of course, the holy ancestor of True Young also felt that Yi Tian would definitely be able to break through and become a half-step eternal realm in the 8 extreme realm before trading it to him. It would be almost impossible for other Kiji realms to purchase such eternal compression techniques from the True Young ancestor. This eternal compression secret technique is a layered secret technique, which is many times more complicated than the roulette secret technique. Although Yi Tian still wants to perfect the stacking secret technique, he is not in a hurry. Now he can completely cultivate the stacking secret technique and compress it 10 times first. Yi Tian began to practice the layering secret technique, compressing the half-step eternal power in his body. One after another robbery years have passed, hundreds of thousands of robbery have passed, Yi Tian succeeded in compressing the half-step eternal power in his body to 10 times. At this time, he felt that it was difficult for him to improve his own strength, and he clearly sensed the first boundary barrier. It seems to be telling Yi Tian that he has reached the pinnacle of cultivation and cannot continue to improve his strength. This is the first boundary barrier. Yi Tian naturally would not be misled by the cognition transmitted by the first boundary barrier. He mobilized more than 6,000 willpower of the world of will, mobilized the power of the whole body, and attacked the first boundary barrier. Boom! The first boundary barrier in the dark was crumbling under the second-order eternal willpower of Yi Tian, and finally after hitting countless times, the first boundary barrier suddenly collapsed. Suddenly, that wrong perception disappeared. Metamorphosis. The whole body is changing. The endless source energy poured into the body from the outside world, helping Yi Tian to complete the transformation. At the same time, Yi Tian's half-step eternal power is also skyrocketing, and his willpower is also rapidly increasing. It can be said that Yi Tian's strength is improving almost every moment. After a long time, Yi Tian completed the breakthrough. At this time, his strength far surpassed that of the 7th realm and the half-step eternal realm, and he officially entered the 8th realm and half-step eternal realm. After the breakthrough, Yi Tian immediately let the cloned body open up the world of will. Fail. Exit. After repeated failures of copying the body, Yi Tian continued to explore, and successfully opened up many will worlds, and the number of will worlds increased. Unconsciously, Yi Tian's will world has reached more than 8,000, which is also the benefit brought by the improvement of will after breaking through to the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm. If the eternal will wants to reach the 3rd order, I am afraid that it will have to hit the 9-pole half-step eternal level. Yi Tian thought to himself. The world of will has improved so much all of a sudden, and his strength has improved a little, but he is still the bottom of the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm. This day, Yi Tian came to the space-time territory where the headquarters of the Baji building was located, the Evergreen Territory. The Evergreen Territory is rich in resources, and the cultivation environment is much better than that of the Maple Leaf Territory. It is almost controlled by the Baji building, and any member of the Baji building can build a base mansion here and so on. After Yi Tian came to the Evergreen Territory, he entered the Baji building with the token given to him by the Holy Ancestor of the Sun, and applied to join the Baji building. This token is a certificate for joining the Baji building. If there is no such certificate, the Baji realm half-step eternal realm will have to go through a series of assessments to join the Baji building. Soon, Bajilo approved the application and went through the formalities for Yi Tian. So far, Yi Tian has become a member of Bajilo. The Baji building has so many Baji realms. Yi Tian was holding an information ball, which recorded a lot of information about the Baji building, including the number of the Baji realm. In other time and space territories, often multiple time and space territories will give birth to an 8-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse, so the 8-pole realm half-step eternal realm powerhouse is extremely rare, and it is almost difficult to see the 8-pole realm in ordinary half-step eternal realm. The realm is half a step into the eternal realm. A for Flowersa. But in the Baji building, there are many strong people in the Baji realm half-step eternal realm, and now there are more than 3,000 Baji realm in the Baji building in this era. What surprised Yi Tian even more was that there was actually a half-step eternal realm in the Baji building in this era. Of course, the information that Bajilo gave him only showed that there was a 9-pole half-step eternal realm, but nothing was mentioned, not even a name. Subsequently, Yi Tian sent a message to Junyang Saint Ancestor, informing him that he had joined Bajilo. Soon, the true young Saint Ancestor came to the Baji building. Endless Ancestor, I didn't expect you to break through so quickly. True young Sage Ancestor said with a smile. Yi Tian hurriedly said, it is thanks to Junyang Saint Ancestor for your stacking secret technique, otherwise, it will take me a few years to break through. How about it? Bajilu's strength is still good, right? Junyang Saint Ancestor said. Yi Tian nodded. The strength of the Baji building is indeed very strong, and there are more than 3,000 Baji realms. What amazes me even more is that our Baji building actually has a 9-pole half-step eternal realm. True Yang Holy Ancestor, who is this half-step eternal realm of the 9 extreme realm? The True Yang Saint Ancestor said. This 9-pole realm half-step eternal realm is the star-watching sword ancestor, who broke through to the 9-pole realm half-step eternal realm 6,000 years ago, and has not yet attacked the eternal realm. If you want to attack the eternal realm, it will be very easy. And once you break through, you will be considered a real powerhouse in the eternal realm. Then why hasn't the star-watching sword ancestor made a breakthrough? Yi Tian asked curiously. It is said that the stargazing swordsman wants to cultivate to the extreme of the nine-pole realm and half-step eternal realm, and then break through to the eternal realm. He wants to directly break through to the immortal realm of the eternal realm and become the lord of the immortal realm, so he endures it. I can't make a breakthrough. True Young Saint Ancestor said. Immortal realm. This is the third realm of the eternal realm. After coming to the space-time territory, he also knew the division of the eternal realm. The eternal realm is divided into the realm of immortality, immortality, and immortality. After all, for the half-step eternal realm of many time and space territories, there is a life limit after not entering the eternal realm, so the first realm of the eternal realm is called for eternal life. Basically, most territories are immortals. Just like those lords who went to Yuanai at the beginning, they are all lords of eternal life. Just when Yi Tian was thinking, Zhenyang Saint Ancestor said, "Go, I will take you to a place." Yi Tian followed Zhenyang Saint Ancestor to a place in the Baji building. G. Chapter 1654 The territory of Shenyang, the eternal body is detached. Where to go? Yi Tian asked curiously. Divine Sound Territory. True Yang Saint Ancestor Road. Divine Sound Territory. Yi Tian had never heard of it, but it was normal. After all, there were too many territories in time and space, and many territories were not well known. I saw that the true Yang Saint Ancestor took Yi Tian to teleport several times and came to a place called Fire Spirit Territory. The Endless Ancestor, we tear apart the space-time barriers in the Fire Spirit's territory and enter the void area. True Yang Saint Ancestor said. Why? Yi Tian has some doubts. The Holy Ancestor Zhenyang explained. Because the Divine Sound Territory does not have any space-time channel, it is impossible to enter the Divine Sound Territory through the time-space channel, and must fly over from the Void Territory. The Divine Sound Territory is a time-space territory completely owned by our Bajilo, and it is also ours. One of the benefits, many eternal realms want to snatch this, 827, empty territory, but they are forcibly suppressed by many immortal realm territories that we have gone out of Bajilo. Otherwise, such a time and space the territory is not our Bajilo. Yi Tian is full of curiosity about the Divine Sound Territory. Could it be that there is some amazing opportunity here? However, he didn't ask too much, and when he entered the territory of Shenyang, he knew what was going on. Yi Tian and Zhenyang Saint Ancestor tore apart the space-time barriers of the Fire Spirit Territory and broke into the Void Territory. As soon as you enter the Void Territory, you can't perceive all the rules, but the rules in your body can still be used, and the strength is not weakened much, but you can't fight here for a long time, and it is difficult to recover. Because in the Void Territory, it is difficult to use the source power of Yuanai. Moreover, the Void Territory is filled with the meaning of nothingness, silence, darkness, suffocation, despair, all kinds of negative emotions flooded into my heart. If the ordinary Supreme Person dares to enter the Void Territory, he is afraid that he will go crazy, but the will of Yi Tian and the True Sun Ancestor are very strong, so they don't care about the environment here. Wow, they are flying in the void area at a very fast speed, and occasionally they will see a trace of light. That is a space-time territory, and there is a huge light source in the extreme distance, but the light of the light source cannot extend too far, if not for Yi Tian is so powerful that he cannot perceive the existence of this huge light source. This huge light source is the source C. Soon, they flew to the position of a weak light source, and their perception gradually became infinitely vast, and they sensed a space-time territory, that is, the territory of Shenyang. Go in. The true Yang Saint Ancestor tore apart the space-time barriers of the Divine Sound Domain and entered the Divine Sound Domain. And Yi Tian also followed. At the moment of entering the territory of Shenyang, dozens of will powers came across the void to spy on the arrival of the two. These are other Bajilo members, don't care. Zhenyang Saint Ancestor introduced. Yi Tian nodded, he didn't notice the malice either, so he didn't care. With a swish, those wills all retreated. Now, Yi Tian is feeling the difference in the Divine Sound Territory. This territory is filled with a kind of weird sound. This kind of sound is like babbling, and also like some kind of singing, a mysterious sound that is completely composed of a kind of sound rules. Yi Tian sat cross-legged and felt the profoundness of this sound. The strange power transformed by the sound penetrated into his body, as if it was difficult to stop the intrusion of this kind of sound. Soon, he felt a little uncomfortable. At first, he also thought about resisting this power and repairing his hidden wounds. But then, he suddenly discovered that something was wrong, and suddenly looked surprised. Ha ha ha, Endless Ancestor, have you discovered the benefits of the Divine Sound Territory? True Yang Sage Ancestor said with a smile. Yi Tian nodded and said, Shenyan territory can make us perceive the flaws of the eternal body. No, it should not be said to be a defect, but to perceive a more perfect place, and the sound of the Shenyan territory will stimulate our eternal body. Under this kind of stimulation and confrontation, we perfect the eternal body step by step, and even find a way of detachment. 1. That's right, Junyang Saint Ancestor said. The divine sound territory is a treasure land where the eternal body can be detached. Even the eternal body that has been detached can be perfected here and become stronger. Members will use this place as a place to practice. And the endless ancestors, your eternal body has not been detached, and this is the right place for you to practice. Compared with other members of the Bajilo, you can truly improve here. Many thanks to the holy ancestor Junyang for bringing me here. Yi Tian thanked. Saint Ancestor Junyang waved his hand and said, "No thanks, this is a place where every member of the 8 extreme buildings can come. Even if I don't bring you here, it won't be long before you know this place. Next, you will find a place to practice in Shenyan territory. I hope you will raise the eternal body to the detached state as soon as possible. I also hope that I can break through as soon as possible." Yi Tian said with anticipation. Soon, the true Yang Saint Ancestor left here. After all, the true Yang Saint Ancestor's eternal body has been detached, and he has no idea how long he has been cultivating here, so it doesn't help him here. After the true Yang Saint Ancestor left, Yi Tian found a mountain at will, placed a palace, and began to cultivate in the palace. If copying the body elevates the eternal body to the realm of detachment, it will not take long for the original body to copy the past and cultivate the eternal body to the realm of detachment. As the divine sound of the divine sound territory entered the body, the flaws of Yi Tian's endless eternal body were reflected one by one. Perhaps in Yi Tian's eyes, these are not flaws, but perfect performances, but in the process of resisting Shenyan, these areas are not perfect, that is not good. This is also the reason for the transcendence. To transcend detachment, to transcend perfection, and to create a more perfect eternal body, this is the realm of detachment. With the passage of time, Yi Tian gradually realized the detachment of the endless eternal body, but to truly complete the detachment, I am afraid that it will take a very long 5.8 years, and it cannot be completed in a short time. At the same time, Yi Tian's body is also constantly compressing the half-step eternal power, perfecting the stacking secret technique. Before you know it, 10 eternal years have passed. For Yi Tian, 10 eternal years is a very long time. On the day, Yi Tian finally applied to the territory of Yin and raised the realm of no eternal body. As soon as the endless eternal body broke through the detachment realm, the physical strength skyrocketed many times, and Yi Tian's strength also skyrocketed. And in these 10 eternity years, Yi Tian has perfected the stacking secret technique to the level of 65 times, and compressed the half-step eternal power to the level of 20 times. Today, his overall strength is much stronger than in the past, and it is no longer comparable to the newly promoted Baji realm. Chapter 1655 Void Beast. Yi Tian's strength has improved, although it is still not as good as the 8 extreme realm like true Yang Saint Ancestor, but it is definitely not too weak. With his current strength, it is almost the same as the weakest eternal realm. However, Yi Tian is still unable to break the space-time barriers of the Yuanai, and freely travels between the Yuanai and the space-time territory. Breaking the barriers of time and space is not a matter of strength, but a matter of rules. The eternal realm and the eternal rules are completely integrated, so that they will not be blocked by the barrier of the source sea, and half-step eternal realm. Even if the strength reaches the 9-pole realm and half-step eternity at the realm level, it is still unable to break the barrier of the source sea. This day, Yi Tian condensed the clone in the Yuanai, and sent the clone to the original sea. He has always been curious about Yuanshui. Before, he was unable to enter here because of his lack of strength, but now he has reached the battle strength of the 8-pole realm and half-step eternal realm. Naturally, he can forcibly enter the Yuanshui, and he can also force his way out. Shout out! Yi Tian entered the Yuanshu Sea, and the powerful breath made the countless black mist insects in the Yuanshu Sea dare not approach. Yi Tian has no interest in these black mist worms, but turned his eyes to the arm somewhere in the original sea. That arm was sealed in a void, and the general extreme state could not spy on this arm at all. 29, even the 7th realm half-step eternal realm could not detect it. But Yi Tian could see the Haiwu river that the arm turned into, and felt the most primitive aura of this arm. This is not the arm of an ordinary immortal realm lord. It is between the immortal realm and the immortal realm. It is the arm of a half-step immortal realm lord. Yi Tian estimated. Obviously, to be able to cut off the arms of such eternal realm powerhouses, the person who shoots is not immortal realm, but also a half-step immortal realm. Yi Tian probed for a while, but did not gain much, but still took away all those resources. Unexpected, Yi Tian sensed two powerful breaths approaching quickly, and immediately left here. Woohoo! The two eternal realms came to the original sea. One step late, someone broke into here, it should be a half-step eternal realm. One of the eternal realm guessed. It should be someone from the 8-pole realm of a space-time territory, who came here to try to attack the 9-pole realm, and happened to find the Yuanshu Sea, thinking it as a treasure. Many eternal realms and Baji realms in the space-time territory know the origin of the primordial sea, and there happens to be one Baji realm who doesn't know, that's all, but the other party will definitely investigate and understand now, and those who dare not come again, let's go. The two eternal realms quickly left without much investigation. Octopus building, Yi Tian's cloned body returned from the divine sound territory and informed the true Yang Saint ancestor. Soon, the true Yang Saint ancestor also came to the Baji building. The two chatted for a while. Suddenly, Yi Tian asked, Junyang Saint ancestor, do you know Yuan Hai Yuan Chu Hai? Original C. Junyang Saint ancestor thought for a moment, then nodded and said, I know a little bit, what's wrong? I come from the life of the Yuan-I, and the Yuan-Shui is a treasure of the Yuan-I, but there seems to be traces of the power of the space-time territory, so I am a little curious, so I ask, so as not to offend the power of the space-time territory. Yi Tian explained. The endless ancestor, the power behind the primordial sea, we really can't offend. The true Yang Saint ancestor said solemnly, as far as I know, the primordial sea was just an ordinary treasure land before, but it was transformed by the Phoenix Lord and used to cultivate black mist insects. It is the incubation base of black mist insects. Moreover, the Phoenix Lord once declared that countless time and space territories must not be inserted into the primordial sea, otherwise he will be his enemy. Phoenix Lord. Yi Tian knows that this lord is one of the lords of the immortal realm, a powerhouse at the real top level of countless time and space territories. There are still many eternal realms under the command of the Phoenix Lord, so the power of the Phoenix Lord is huge. What does the Phoenix Lord train those black mist worms for? Yi Tian has some doubts. Do the experiment, said Junyang Saint ancestor. This is news from the outside world, saying that the Phoenix Lord has cultivated a large number of black mist worms in the original sea, and then regularly sent them to the Phoenix territory for secondary cultivation, helping these black mist worms to rise to half-step into the eternal realm, so you can harvest countless half-step eternal realm test materials. However, there is also a saying that the Phoenix Lord is studying the power of the Void Beast. Void Beast. This is the first time Yi Tian heard about it. Junyang Saint ancestor said, Void Beast is a kind of creature that strays from the source sea. It has been staying in the void area, and the number is not large. It has long been killed by those immortal lords. I am afraid that it is far away from the source. Only in the depths of the void area of the sea can the traces of the void beasts be found. But few eternal realms dare to go anywhere. They are too far away from the source sea, so they can't identify the direction, and they can easily get lost. Almost never came back. That arm in the original sea is the arm of the void beast. Yi Tian was surprised. Yes. Junyang Saint ancestor nodded. It is said that when the Phoenix Lord was still in the half-step immortal realm, he fought with a powerful nihilistic beast, and finally cut off one of the opponent's arms, but the nihilism the beast did not die, but fled. What happened next, we don't know. So it is. Yi Tian understood. The Phoenix Lord cut off a part of the arm of the void beast and threw it into the original sea, and found that the black mist insect can reproduce with the help of the void beast's arm, so he used it to study the black mist insect. As for whether the black mist insect is used for other things, it is less clear. I also collected some bones from the void beast at the beginning. Fortunately, the Phoenix Lord didn't know about this matter, otherwise I would have to trouble me. Yi Tian thought to himself. 827 learned that Yuanshui was the territory of the Phoenix Lord. Yi Tian was not going to continue to spy on Yuanshui, otherwise he would really provoke the Phoenix Lord, he would not be able to compete, even the Bajilo would not help him. But one thing is certain, the Void Beast is not easy, otherwise, the immortal realm powerhouses such as the Phoenix Lord will not study the black mist insect derived from the Void Beast flesh and blood. Actually, Yi Tian was also curious about the Void Beast. What kind of talent would such a life have? If his copy talent duplicates the talent of the Void Beast, wouldn't it mean that he has gained a big chance? Forget it, cultivate well and try to reach the second boundary barrier first. Yi Tian secretly said. Baji Organizing Committee, Dao. Yi Tian also participated often, and gradually became familiar with the other Baji realms in Bajilo. To be able to become the 8 extreme realm, Everyone has only one goal, that is, to be promoted to the 9 extreme realm, or to be promoted to the eternal realm. This day, one of the Baji buildings, who touched the second boundary barrier, invited many Baji realms to participate in a meeting. When Yi Tian came to the Baji building, he was immediately surprised. What appeared in front of him turned out to be an old man exuding a rotten aura, as if his life was running out. And he is the 8th level powerhouse who touched the second boundary barrier in the Baji building, Ji Yu Heiyuan Ancestor. Chapter 1656 The Land Without Abyss. End of Life. 1. Yi Tian felt the limit of life from Ji Yu Heiyuan's ancestor. He has not seen anyone facing the limit of life for a long time. Even if many life cultivation bases are not high, they can live infinite years. In theory, there is no life limit. After infinite years, the will can't hold on, it will fall into silence, and eventually the will die out, thus falling and dying, but that is not the limit of life. But the rotten aura on Ji Yu Heiyuan's body proved that his lifespan was running out. An 8-pole half-step eternal realm powerhouse, but still faces the limit of his lifespan. Yi Tian felt that it was incredible. Although he had heard before that the half-step eternal realm of the space-time territory will have a lifespan, but he has never seen it before. Half-step eternal realm can live for 10 million eternal years, but Ji Yu Heiyuan Ancestor is about to face the end of his lifespan. It can be seen that he has almost lived for 10 million eternal years. What a long time. In the Source Sea, there is not necessarily a half-step eternal realm that lives for so long, because many half-step eternal realm must break into various treasures and forbidden places in order to survive, and even fight with other half-step eternal realm. Therefore, although the half-step eternal realm in the Source Sea has an infinite lifespan, there are not many half-step eternal realms that can truly live for more than 10 million years. Therefore, many half-step eternal realms in the space-time territory actually don't care much about the lifespan. Like Ji Yu Heiyuan's ancestor, it is really rare to live to the limit of his lifespan. I've seen you ancestors. Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan smiled. I have seen Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor. I have seen Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor. 1. I have seen Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor. Many Baji realms respect Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor, because he really lived too long, and many eternal realms are not as old as him. Living for a long time means that Ji Yu Heiyuan's ancestors have a lot of knowledge and know a lot of secrets. Moreover, Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor's strength is also very strong, reaching the extreme of the 8 extremes, touching the second boundary barrier, and among the powerhouses who touch the second boundary barrier, they are all top-notch existences. It's a pity that he still hasn't stepped into the 9 extreme realm and half-step eternal realm, nor has he stepped into the eternal realm. Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan, why did you call us here this time? An octopus asked. Ji Yu Heiyuan said, you should all know that my lifespan is running out. I have been too cautious in my life, and I have missed many opportunities. Now I still want to attack the eternal realm, but in my current state, I have no hope of relying on myself to attack eternal realm, so I want to go to a place. There is hope that I can be promoted to eternal realm, but it is very dangerous. Entering there with my own strength is courting death, so I want to invite some Baji realm to enter with me that place. What is the place? Many Baji realms are interested. Although it is bound to be dangerous there, if Ji Yu Heiyuan's ancestors can hope to be promoted to the eternal realm, there is also hope that they can be promoted to the eternal realm. Although they are in the 8 extreme realm, their combat power is comparable to that of the weaker eternal realm, but after all, they are not the real eternal realm. It is simply too difficult to reach the eternal realm from the 8 extreme realm, and it is even more difficult to become the 9 extreme realm. Therefore, they also have to seize every opportunity. It's a place without abyss. Ji Yu Heiyuanzu revealed. Abyss. A few of the 8 extreme realms were shocked when they heard this name. Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor, do you know where the land of no abyss is? Junyang sage ancestor said in shock. Another Baji realm said, Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan, before the 90,000 eternal years, I asked you for advice and asked you about the place without abyss, but you said you didn't know. Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan smiled and said, I didn't want to enter the land of nowhere before, and I haven't made up my mind yet. Why should I tell you? Some of you have clones, but I don't. Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan has no clone, which is why Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan has never dared to take risks. In fact, many existences in the 8 extreme realms have clones, but the clones are different. Some clones have lower strength, and it is difficult to have the same combat power as the main body. Once some clones fall, they will pay a lot if they want to reunite. Cost. But Ji Yu Heiyuan ancestor doesn't even have the qualification to have a clone. It's not that he doesn't want to have a clone, but the way of cultivation is special, so he can't have a clone. Just like the original tree heart, after refining the other half-step eternal realm, you can form a clone, but Gu Heiyuan ancestor is useless. This kind of cultivation system cannot divide the will, divide the power, even the material that can refine the clone will be smashed by the power of the only kendo, so the clone cannot be formed. The path of Gu Heiyuan's ancestors has been completed, so there is no way to change the path again, so he can only go on like this. So, some 8th level people with clones dared to enter the abyss, but he did not dare to enter, because he had only one life. It's just that the other Baji realms don't know the location of the place without abyss, but Gu Heiyuan's ancestor does. What is the place without abyss? Yi Tian asked curiously. Not only Yi Tian is not clear, many of the 8 extreme realms do not know much about the land of Wuyuan. Ancestor Gu Heiyuan wanted to go with the other 8 extreme realms, so he introduced, the land of no abyss is actually a lair of nothingness beasts, and it is a movable lair. About 6 million years ago, the space-time territory was the many eternal realms of the infinite beast were surrounded and killed, and the land of the abyss was also affected. In that battle, the nether beast almost disappeared in the space-time territory area, and it also caused great losses to the space-time territory, and several immortal realms fell. Lord, the number of ordinary eternal powerhouses fell even more, and even multiple time and space territories were destroyed. The abyss was told by those who participated in the war that the eternal realm had been annihilated, but it was not actually annihilated. None. The land of the abyss seems to have its own consciousness. After the battle, the land of the abyss was severely damaged and escaped into the depths of the void area. The lords of the immortal realm were not very interested in the land of the abyss, so they would not look for it. Ordinary Eternals do not dare to enter the depths of the void area, for fear of getting lost. The reason why I know the location of the abyss is that 3 million years ago, I offended an eternal realm and was forced to flee into the depths of the void. I accidentally found the place of the abyss, but I didn't dare to go in, so I only left traces and waited to enter again in the future. 2.8 million years ago, the eternal realm I offended fell, and I dared to appear again. You guys, if anyone wants to go to the land of the abyss, they must sign a space-time contract with me. Although it may not be able to bind you, I hope that after entering the land of the abyss, at least they can't hurt each other. If they don't sign a time-space contract, I will not take you there. I'm willing to go. I want to go too. Everyone from the 8 extreme realms wants to enter the abyss. Yi Tian was also willing to enter the land of no abyss, so he agreed with money to Zhao to conclude a space-time contract. This was just an alliance contract, which had no effect on the 8 extremes, and everyone didn't care. However, there are also some Baji realms who dare not enter the land of the abyss. These Baji realms who dare not enter the land of the abyss are basically those who have no avatars, so they dare not take risks. After all, they have only one life. In addition, Jijing did not come here, and F is in, the empty territory of the original sea is closed. After all, many of the 8 poles that have touched the second boundary barrier will enter the source sea to attack the 9 poles. Just like Jiyu Yuanzu, he also stayed in Yuanai for a long time, but he never made a breakthrough, so he gave up becoming the Juji realm. In the end, there are 376 Bajijing people willing to enter the abyss. And the time to enter the abyss is now. Ancestor Jiyu Heiyuan didn't want the news to be leaked, causing the Lord of the Eternal Realm with the Immortal Realm to come to him and let him lead the way, so that the ultimate benefit would not turn to him. Therefore, he will not waste time, and immediately take these 8 extremes to the depths of the void area. Chapter 1657 The Eternal Realm Lord's Tract. The crowd passed through the space-time passage, crossed the space-time territories one by one, and soon came to the most marginal space-time territory, the Silent Territory. The Silence Territory is a Lord's territory, the Silence Lord's territory, but she has no ambition, anyone can come to her territory, and she doesn't care much, doesn't seem to care about anything, otherwise, she won't choose a quiet territory far away from the source sea. The Silent Territory is one of the most distant space-time territories from the source sea. If it is farther away, the space-time territory will not be born, because if it is too far away from the source sea, it will not be regarded as being attached to the source sea, and naturally it will not exist. Talking about time and space. Entering the void area from here, you will travel a long distance behind, you have to be mentally prepared. Jiyu Heiwanzu reminded, it's not the first time we have entered the void area, Jiyu Heiyu an ancestor, let's go. An 8-pole realm hurriedly urged. Walk. Everyone immediately tore apart the space-time barriers of the silent territory, entered the void area, and immediately moved towards the depths of the void area. And not long after they left, a named Eternal Realm appeared. They looked at the direction where Gu Heiwanzu and the others were leaving, and immediately caught up with them, while chatting with each other. Gu Heiwanzu, this old guy actually knows the location of the Land of the Abyss. It is rumored that the Land of the Abyss is one of the dens of the Void Beast, and it contains countless precious resources. It's a pity that the Lords of the Immortal Realm had a decisive battle with the Void Beast. There is no time to manage the Land of Nowhere, and the Land of Nowhere has been moved, and I don't know where to go. If we get some benefits in the Land of the Abyss, we may have the hope of being promoted to the Lord of the Immortal Realm. You have to be careful about this group of 8-pole half-step Eternal Realm powerhouses. Their strength is not weak, and there are many. We have to join hands. Don't be bullied by a group of half-step Eternal Realm. That's nature. 1 inch. Time passed slowly, and at the beginning, some of the 8 extremes could withstand the environment of the void area, but as time went on, they also became a little irritable, which could make the 8 extremes feel irritable. It can be seen that the environment deep in the void area is how terrifying. Of course, the only ones who are really affected are those who have not yet condensed the second-order eternal will. A half-step Eternal Realm powerhouse like ETN will be affected very little and can almost be ignored. However, when going deeper into the void area, the second-order eternal will is a little uncomfortable. At this time, the 8 extreme realm asked, Gu Heiwan ancestor, how far is it? If it goes on like this, I can't bear it anymore. It's not too far, Ancestor Gu Heiwan replied. After a few more days, they finally reached their destination. Arrive, Ancestor Gu Heiwan pointed to a shadowy place ahead and said. It really is a place without abyss. One by one, the 8 extreme realms were quite excited. Everyone, be careful. If you want to enter the Land of Abyss, you must wait. You can only enter the Land of Abyss at the moment when you want to move. Otherwise, you won't be able to enter at other times. Gu Heiwanzu reminded. We know. The other Baji realms nodded. Immediately, many of the 8 extreme realms sat cross-legged around the place without abyss, waiting silently. Soon, Gu Heiwan's expression changed and he looked into the distance. Whoa whoa whoa, an aura of the Eternal Realm appeared without any cover. Lord of Eternal Realm, Gu Heiwan's face was a little ugly. He didn't want to let the Lord of the Eternal Realm know, but it was still exposed. The 8 extreme realms who were present signed a contract and should not reveal it, so only those 8 extreme realms who left revealed the news. But how did those Eternal Realm lords lock his position? It stands to reason that they travel through time and space territories, and the Lord of the Eternal Realm has no time to track them. Unexpected. When Lord Gu saw an Eternal Realm, he immediately understood. Silence Lord. Not only did Gu understand it, but the other Baji realms also understood. They left the domain of the Silent Lord, and the Silent Lord naturally knew it. Only CJFI, however, they did not expect that the Silent Lord would immediately notify the other lords. And when they fly in the void area, there is aura escaping, so it is very obvious, but after a period of time, these auras will be turned into nothingness by the void area, and there will be no traces. But these lords are tracked in time, and they can naturally be tracked. At this time, there were only 33 lords of the Eternal Realm, and the number was not many, but there were many lords of the peak of the Eternal Realm. Although the 8-pole realm half-step Eternal Realm can be compared to the weaker Eternal Realm, that is, the weaker Eternal Realm powerhouse, even if Lord Gu who has touched the second boundary barrier, is at most comparable to the ordinary Eternal Life Realm powerhouse, but can't beat the Lord of the peak of the Eternal Life. Their only advantage is that they have a large number, and the number of the Lords of the Eternal Realm is relatively small. Lord Silent, I really thought you didn't care about anything. Ancestor Gu Heiwan sneered. Lord Silent didn't care about Gu Heiwan's ridicule at all, and said with a smile, I really don't care about many things, but if there is no place, I can't care less. I also want to become the Lord of the Immortal Realm, but there are many great opportunities. All are occupied by those immortal lords, and the abyss is my chance. Ancestor Gu Heiwan didn't want to fight either. After all, they didn't have the advantage, but they weren't easy to mess with either. So, Gu Heiwanzu suggested, after we enter, we won't interfere with each other. How about it? After all, the land of Wuyuan is a lair of nihilistic beasts, and now there are still nihilistic beasts. We are not your obstacles or enemies. Don't worry, as long as you don't trouble us, we won't trouble you. Everyone's purpose is to find opportunities. The Lord of Silence said with a smile. That being said, there is some kind of hostility between everyone. In fact, Bajilo has a very bad relationship with the Lord of the Eternal Life, which is a well-known situation in the space-time territory. Because the Lords of the Eternal Realm were almost once the ordinary half-step Eternal Realm, not the Extreme Realm half-step Eternal Realm, and if the Eight-Pole Realm half-step Eternal Realm could break through to the Eternal Realm, almost a breakthrough would be an Immortal Realm. The Baji Realm looks down on the ordinary half-step Eternal Realm, and once they break through to the Eternal Realm, they also look down on the ordinary Eternal Life Realm Lord. Now, these Eternal Life Realm Lords naturally have to take advantage of the inability to break through the Baji Realm to find trouble in the Baji Realm. The only thing that made Jiyu Heiwanzu and the others relieved was that this time there was no Immortal Realm Lord and Immortal Realm involved, otherwise they would not have their share. And those Eternal Realm Lords will not notify Indestructible Realm and Bulin Shang Lord. In the blink of an eye, several robbery years passed. On this day, the land of the abyss shook. It's about to move. Chapter 1658 The Lair of the Void Beast, the Void Golden Pith Wood. The abyss is moving, Ancestor Jiyu Heiyuan said excitedly. The other 8 extreme realms and the Eternal Realm are also watching the land of the abyss, ready to enter the land of the abyss at any time. Boom, the place without abyss went from prohibition to movement, and it took an instant. At the moment when it moved quickly, Yi Tian and other 8 extreme realms and those Eternal Realm Lords shuttled into the land of the abyss one after another. Abyss. Here is the floating island terrain, similar to floating islands suspended in the void area. Moreover, there are still void beasts in the void. These void beasts are in a semi-void state, sometimes revealing their true bodies, sometimes being almost transparent, and constantly switching between the two states. Be careful, there are void beasts here. An Eternals reminded. At this time, an 8-pole realm asked curiously, isn't it true that all the emptiness beasts have been slaughtered? I didn't expect there to be so many emptiness beasts. 1. Killed all. Jiyu Heiwanzu sneered. How could the void beasts have been killed? It's just that the battle a few million years ago made the void beasts in the void area of the space-time territory almost disappear, and the void area there are still a large number of nihilistic beasts in the depths, and even the lords of the immortal realm dare not rush into the depths of the emptiness area, otherwise why do you think those lords do not develop the sites in the depths of the emptiness area? Quote, the Bajiji stopped talking immediately, obviously such a speech was a bit embarrassing. Whoa whoa whoa, those Eternal Realm Lords flew away from the other direction, obviously not staying with Jiyu Heiyuan ancestor and the others. Jiyu Heiyuan's ancestor said, according to the contract, we must act together. Although I have never been to the land of the abyss, I have a little understanding of the land of the abyss. The land of the abyss will not only produce many rare resources, but also a kind of material, it is inevitable, that is the emptiness of the golden pulp. The emptiness of the golden pulp can breed the fruit of nothingness, and the beast of nothingness is born from the fruit of nothingness. The golden pulp of the emptiness can improve the probability of integrating the innate eternal rules, which is equivalent to increasing the breakthrough. For the probability of reaching the eternal realm, let's go to find the void gold medulla first, do you all agree? No comment, everyone agreed with Jiyu Heiyuan's proposal. After all, treasures like the void golden marrow are also what they want. For them, the 8 extreme realms, the biggest possibility is to break through to the eternal realm, so they are very eager for the resource treasures that help to break through to the eternal realm. It's great to increase the odds a little bit. Whoa whoa, everyone flew over to an island in Jiyu Heiwanzu to see if there was a nihilistic golden pit there. Unexpected, 6 void beasts rushed towards Yi Tian and the others. Everyone, be careful, the void beasts can counteract the attack, and their strength is not weaker than the average immortal lord. 1. Jiyu Heiwanzu reminded, no one underestimated the void beast, after all the legend of the void beast was too terrifying. Immediately, dozens of the 8 extreme realms teamed up to fight against the 8 phantom beasts, and one after another bombarded the phantom beast, but when these attacks hit the phantom beast became illusory and the attack power was directly offset. In part, even attacks that contained willpower were neutralized. It seems to counteract any force. Yi Tian is very clear that this is the innate power of the void beast. The moment he saw the void beast, Yi Tian used the copy talent to investigate the void beast's talent situation, and saw a very special talent. Virtualization. Immortal Ancestral Fu. Having an immortal ancestral gift. Yi Tian was surprised. It was the first time he encountered a creature with immortal ancestry level, and his own immortal ancestry was still a few immortal ancestral ancestry formed through the continuous fusion of the talents of the black mist worm. The nihilistic beast not only possesses the immortal ancestral level of infidelity, but also possesses the three major talents of immortal ancestral level: strength, defense, and speed. That is, the wisdom of the void beast is low, otherwise, this race is too scary. I am afraid that it is enough to grow to the level of immortality. At that time, countless time and space territories and source seas will not be able to compete with the void beast. Copy. Yi Tian used the copying talent to copy the immortal ancestors of the immortal beast. Although the copying speed was a bit slower, he was still able to copy it. Boom. The 6 nihilistic beasts fought against dozens of 8 extremes, and they were able to release one after another of destruction light waves. Injuried. However, dozens of 8 extreme realms had the advantage in number, so they still suppressed the void beast. However, Yi Tian and others wanted to kill these 6 nothingness beasts but couldn't. At this time, Ancestor Jiu Heiyuan suggested, use the formation to temporarily trap them, and you can't be dragged by them. The other 8 extreme realms also agreed, so they began to arrange a formation, not seeking to be completely trapped, but only to trap these void beasts for a while, and that would be enough. Ask for flowers. The Baji realm is very fast in arranging the formation. As long as there are materials, the formation can be built in almost 1 second. Immediately, large formations covered the 6 void beasts. At the same time, these 8 extreme realms took out a piece of eternal source weapon with the effect of sealing the void to directly block this area, allowing the 6 nothingness beasts to break through the blocking formation later. Walk. Ancestor Jiu Heiyuan said quickly. Dozens of the 8 extreme realms immediately shuttled away, while the 6 void beasts were temporarily trapped. Soon, everyone came to an island. Although there are some resources on the island, there is no nihilistic golden pith. Therefore, everyone left immediately to avoid wasting time. As everyone continued to go deep into the abyss, and encountered the void beast, they all adopted the same method to temporarily trap it. Otherwise, in the land of the abyss, it would be too difficult to get rid of the void beast. Suddenly, everyone found that a huge lair appeared on an island. The lair should be the place where the void beast was born, and there must be void golden pith wood in it. Let's go in. Ancestor Jiu Heiyuan said excitedly. Wow, everyone directly shuttled into this lair, as if they had come to another void. Here, a leafless golden tree takes root inside the nest, and there are 3 fruits on it. These 3 fruits are the 3 fruits of nothingness that give birth to the beast of nothingness. Cut down this emptiness golden pulp tree, I will get 1/10 of the emptiness golden pulp tree, and the rest will belong to you. Jiu Heiyuan ancestor said. No problem, everyone agreed. Anyway, according to this division, they can also get a lot, and they can't really break through just relying on the emptiness of golden pulp. Besides, Jiu Heiwanzu brought them here, and they would not refuse Jiu Heiwanzu's distribution plan. 5 people cut down the emptiness golden pith wood, and the other 8 extremes are guarding at the entrance. We must stop those emptiness beasts, otherwise the emptiness of the golden pith wood will be cut down, and the emptiness beasts will definitely perceive it and will definitely stop us. Jiu Heiwanzu reminded everyone. Immediately, Yi Tian and the others came to the entrance, preparing to block the void beast that came to rescue, while Jiu Heiyuan ancestor and other 5-8 extreme realms began to cut down the void golden marrow tree. Boom, the felling began, and the nihilistic beasts born from this lair sensed it one by one, and began to gather here. Chapter 1659. The clone of the true sun ancestor was killed. The void beast is here. In the void outside the cave, a number of nothingness beasts shuttled. Dozens of the 8 extreme realms have solemn expressions, which is equivalent to a lord of the eternal realm. Even they can't compete and can only delay for a while. First use the eternal source weapon of the blockade type to block the void, then use the formation method to block a little time, and then use the defense eternal skill to resist these nihilistic beasts. In this way, many Baji realms began to delay time. But soon, dozens of void beasts in the outside world have gathered, and it can be seen that the behavior of the 8 extreme realms cutting down the void golden marrow tree completely angered these void beasts. Click, an eternal source weapon that was blocking the void shattered directly, and then other eternal source weapons also shattered. And those great formations didn't last long, and they were quickly broken one by one. At this time, the 8 extreme realms need to face these nihilistic beasts directly. I saw that the 8 extreme realms teamed up to display a door defense, 827, U eternal skill, forming layers of masks, sealing the entrance tightly. And those nihilistic beasts kept bombarding the entrance, countless rules collapsed, and this piece of void was collapsing. Some of the weaker and weaker Baji realm were unable to support them on the spot, and their bodies began to crack, so they could only forcefully take some medicines to restore their injuries. The only Baji realm with less pressure is Yitian. Yitian's endless eternal body is a legendary eternal body, and it has also reached the realm of detachment. Its life-saving ability can be regarded as the number one in the eight-pole realm. Even if one person faces multiple nihilistic beasts, it is enough to save one's life. Therefore, he did not panic at all. Ancestor Jiyu Heiyuan, hurry up, we can't hold it anymore. Zhenyang Saint Ancestor and other Baji realms sent a message to Jiyu Heiyuan Ancestor and other 5 Baji realm half-step eternal realm, urging them to hurry up. Finally, when the 8 extreme realms were about to be completely unable to support it, a click sounded throughout the entire nest. The void golden marrow tree is broken. Receive. Ancestor Jiyu Heiyuan waved his hand and directly took away the emptiness golden pulp tree, and immediately sent a message to many 8 extreme realms. The emptiness golden pulp tree has already been obtained, and after rushing out of the encirclement, I will divide the emptiness golden pulp tree into pieces. It is good. The other octopuses also agreed. After all, they are still surrounded by void beasts, they don't have so much time to continue cutting void essence wood. Therefore, they must now rush out of the siege as soon as possible. It is true that the Baji realm can't defeat these nihilistic beasts, but if they want to break out of the encirclement, they can still do it. After paying a certain price, dozens of the 8 extreme realms finally broke out of the encirclement. Immediately, they hid on a small island and arranged a hidden formation, temporarily safe. Ji Yu He Yuanzu, divide the emptiness golden pith tree into pieces of emptiness golden pith wood. An 8-pole realm hurriedly urged. They were also afraid of Ji Yu Heiyuan's cheating. What if he escaped? It is good. Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan didn't have the intention to go back on it. He took out the entire golden pith tree of nothingness, and immediately began to cut it. It took some time, and it was finally cut into pieces. Get started. According to the agreement, Ancestor Ji Yu Heiyuan took 1/10 of it directly, and the rest was distributed equally. After all, everyone contributed. At this time, the question of who was strong or weak could not be divided, and there would be no way to distribute it. Soon, Yi Tian also obtained a piece of emptiness golden pith wood, and the volume was relatively large. So many emptiness golden pulp woods are enough to extract a lot of emptiness golden pulp, although it can help to integrate the innate eternal rules, but at most 5% increase the probability. But if you collect enough similar treasures, it will be of great use. For example, the ancestor of Ji Yu Heiyuan, who has lived for nearly 10 million eternity years, Yi Tian doesn't believe that he has no other treasure resources that can help him break through. After the allocation, Ji Yu Heiwanzu said, "Everyone, I only know that the land of nowhere has the resource of void golden marrow. Now that we have all obtained it, it will not be of much use to continue to seek void golden marrow, so I propose to everyone. Let us look for treasures separately, so as not to get only one kind of treasure, but there is no way to distribute it, which leads to conflicts with each other. What do you think?" A. Can. Zhenyang Saint Ancestor was the first to agree. "I agree," Yi Tian said. "How many good things can he get with the big army? Even if he encounters the best treasures, he can't occupy it alone. And he can also copy the clone. The 2 bodies move separately, and if he follows the other 8 extremes, it is inconvenient for him to copy his own body. Therefore, he is the one who most wants to act separately." Agree. Most of the octopuses agree. And some Bajijing are not confident in their own strength, plus they are injured, so they are ready to form a team. And just like that, the team is separated here. Yi Tian traveled far, and the copy talent did not perceive the existence of the other 8 extremes in the eternal realm, so he began to copy his body. Soon, a body was reproduced. Immediately, the 2 bodies shuttled from 2 directions. In this way, the hope of finding the treasure is much higher. Along the way, no matter what resource, as long as it is useful, he directly collects it. In any case, the accumulation of resources has a certain value. Occasionally, when he encountered a phantom beast, he did not fight to the death, but chose to get rid of the phantom beast. In this way, the years passed slowly. Deep in the abyss, Zhenyang Saint Ancestor came here and found a ore vein. It turned out to be an inextinguishable earth spirit stone vein. This kind of mineral vein is integrated into the space-time territory, which is helpful for the growth of the space-time territory. The abyss is excited. The value of this vein is enough to equal half of his worth. Just as he was about to take away this ore vein, a big black hand full of hair grabbed it from the void. The expression of the true Sun Ancestor changed dramatically, and he used an eternal skill to protect himself. However, the power of this big hand was too terrifying, and with just one blow, his eternal skill defense was torn apart, the eternal source armor he wore was also penetrated, and the eternal body also shattered. True Young Saint Ancestor is full of countless cracks, as if it will completely disperse in the next moment. He kept on shuttle, and as soon as possible to recover from his injuries. However, all is useless. Boom, he was directly shaken out in the shuttle time and space, and then a human-shaped void beast emerged, punching him with a punch. True Yang World Destruction Fist. The true Young Saint Ancestor gathered the strength of the whole body, mobilized all the innate eternal rules, and performed a punch of the pinnacle. Fist and fist collide. The opponent was uninjured, and the true Young Saint Ancestor was directly blown up by a punch, leaving only a little will, but the will was soon wiped out by the opponent. Less 5.8 Yang territory. In a void, the true Sun Ancestor's body opened his eyes, and his eyes were full of regret. Should leave, this is a terrible loss, the emptiness of the golden pulp has been lost, and this clone of myself has also fallen. If I want to condense this clone again, it will take a long time, and I have to pay very precious resource. True Young Saint Ancestor sighed. However, I am also fortunate that it is a clone. If it is the main body, he will completely fall this time. The other 8 extreme realms are estimated to be miserable, and there is an immortal realm nihilistic beast hidden in the land of no abyss, and there is some wisdom. True Young Saint Ancestor murmured. Immediately, he sent a message to the Baji realm who possessed the power of Avatar in the Baji building. As for whether their clones are willing to evacuate, that's none of his business. All in all, he did his best. Soon, the other 8 extreme realms in the Land of the Abyss knew that the Land of the Abyss had a nihilistic beast comparable to the Lord of the Indestructible Realm. Chapter 1660 Copy talent can still be upgraded. The Immortal Beast of Nothingness. Yi Tian also received the communication from the other 8 extreme realm half-step eternal realm, and immediately felt the difficulty. If he encounters the Immortal Beast of the Immortal Realm, he will definitely die. Although he only came here to duplicate his body this time, once he fell, those gains would be lost. This clone body can't be dispatched, let the clone move, so even if the clone falls, the loss is not big. Yi Tian thought to himself. Then, his cloned body hides and stops moving, while the clone begins to look for resources. Once a certain resource is found, it returns to the cloned body, leaves the resources, and the clone continues to act. As time passed, some of the 8 extreme realms chose to leave. After all, they did not dare to face a nihilistic beast comparable to the inextinguishable realm. Once they encountered it, they would be unable to escape. They are not sure they can get more benefits, and therefore do not want to lose the treasure in their hands. For example, there is no golden pith wood, so the value of 29 treasures is too high, and they do not want to lose it. Therefore, even if it is a clone, they are not willing to take risks. In this way, more and more Baji realms have left the abyss, and even some eternal realms have left the abyss. There are a few people who have clones in the eternal realm. For example, for the general half-step eternal realm, the original tree heart can help them condense their clones, but the original tree heart has no effect on the eternal realm. Even if it is the half-step eternal realm of some eternal clones, once it breaks through to the eternal realm, it is difficult for the clones to maintain, and it does not work at all. Unless such a clone has been staying in his territory and can be maintained, once he leaves his territory and enters the void area or other space-time territory, the clone will collapse. In one's own territory, maintaining a clone is no different from condensing an incarnation or a consciousness clone. There are really too few lords who really have a clone of the eternal realm. Therefore, in the case of life-threatening situations, these eternal realms did not dare to take risks, so they chose to leave. At the same time, news about the Land of the Abyss began to spread in the major time and space territories, and even some immortal lords learned the news. But, these immortal realm lords have no interest, and obviously do not look down on the treasures of the Abyss, but they still sent some of the immortal realm powerhouses to the Abyss. For the immortal realm, some things in the Land of the Abyss still have some value, and they have not entered the Land of the Abyss for countless years. I am afraid that there are a lot of good things accumulated there, enough to take a risk. There is almost nothing good in the periphery of the Abyss, and it has been wiped out by many 8 extreme realms and eternal realms. Yi Tian has not harvested for a long time, and is ready to enter the depths of the Abyss. There is an immortal beast in the depths of the Abyss, the other 8 realms, and even the lords of the immortal realm, probably wouldn't dare to enter, but I dare to enter. The big deal is the fall of the clone, and continue to condense one out. Yi Tian thought to himself. It's a pity that the realm of the Void Beast is comparable to the Eternal Realm, and he can't copy the body of the Void Beast, otherwise he can copy the Void Beast's body and mix it into the depths of the Abyss. Wow! Yi Tian's clone quickly shuttled to the depths of the abyss. At the beginning, Yi Tian did not encounter the immortal beast, so there was no big danger. Moreover, in the depths of the abyssal land, there are no ordinary void beasts. He flew for a long time without encountering the shadow of the void beast. This is very abnormal in the periphery of the abyssal land. It is estimated that there are nihilistic beasts comparable to the immortal realm in the depths of the abyss. It is the territory of such powerful nihilistic beasts. Ordinary nihilistic beasts dare not approach. Yi Tian guessed. Unexpected, Yi Tian felt an attraction that had been missed for a long time, as if the whole soul was rejoicing. This is... Yi Tian got excited. This is the copy talent reminding him that there are treasures that can help the copy talent evolve. For a long time, he thought that the copy talent had evolved to the extreme, but now he found that the copy talent can still evolve. Now my cloned body is comparable to the immortal ancestors in terms of rank. If I continue to evolve, wouldn't it be possible to surpass the immortal ancestors? Yi Tian muttered. Although he still doesn't know what the treasure that can attract the evolution of copying talent is, he must snatch that treasure at all costs. Not to mention that there are nihilistic beasts that are comparable to the immortal realm. Even if there are nihilistic beasts that are comparable to the immortal realm, he has to go for it, otherwise he will not be reconciled. Immediately, Yi Tian swiftly shuttled past the treasures. However, before he reached the location of the treasure, a human-shaped void beast appeared. Boom! The opponent slammed a punch, and the endless void shattered. Yi Tian used an eternal skill to try to resist this punch. However, the power of this punch was so terrifying, the eternity he cast shattered one after another, and the innate eternity rules were directly annihilated. Then, he was blasted out by a punch, and his body was cracked. But in an instant, he recovered. In terms of life-saving level, he is much stronger than the true Yang ancestor, and even stronger than the life-saving ability of some eternal life realm lords. Although, he is far from being an opponent of the immortal realm, but he will not be killed by a few tricks. 827. Seeing that Yi Tian didn't suffer any injuries, this nihilistic beast comparable to the immortal realm was immediately angry. Its body became incomparably huge, and it punched Yi Tian with a punch. Yi Tian wanted to get rid of this void beast, but his speed was not as fast as the opponent's, and his attack power was far inferior to the opponent's. He has almost no resistance. Time passed by and Yi Tian's injury became more and more serious. In the end, Yi Tian's body was completely destroyed, and even his mind was shattered. Somewhere in the abyss, Yi Tian's cloned body sighed. The clone was killed, and as expected, he still couldn't escape from the inextinguishable realm of nothingness. 1. Next, he copied another clone and tried to make the clone go there again. As a result, he still encountered the void beast and fell there again. Falling twice in a row, Yi Tian pondered for a while. The land of the abyss should be completely exposed soon, and even the lords of the immortal realm and even the immortal realm have come. I have to follow them into the depths of the abyss, otherwise I can't get past that nihilistic beast, get the treasure I need. So, Yi Tian waited silently. Finally this day, a lord of the immortal realm descended on the land of the abyss.